Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
We're going to have to show a little more patience than the year two pom-pom people.
Kasey Kurtz.
Yo! Well, what are we doing, bro? Come on!
And Aaron Schachter.
I'm all in favor of these two showing their love, really celebrating their relationship.
Get him! Get him! Hit him! Hit him! Hit him! Yeah! Boom! Jack! Boom! Yeah! Boom! Jack! Boom!
This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Kasey Kurtz, and Aaron Schachter on Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio, ESPN 690.
Hey, what is happening? We're back at Davoli's House of Cards here on a Tuesday. Missed last week, back at it here this week, and good to be down in St. Johns County at Davoli's House of Cards. You looking for some Christmas gifts? Well, this might be a good thing to stop by and get. It'd be nice and easy. I just fumbled the speaker, by the way, here at Davoli's House of Cards. That's why the pause. When something crashes a piece of equipment, you're kind of wondering, okay, how much are we going to lose here?
Yeah, like, what did I break? And how much does everyone else know?
I don't know what. Kasey knows what I'm talking about. They've got these little, what are these even called, Kasey? Like, would it be like for ottoman, maybe, for your feet?
They're like a footrest holder?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, they're like these, they're almost like decorative pieces, I think, but I think you could use them for that.
Kasey's making adorable faces, which translate really well on the radio.
Watch, I show you in the stream. This thing right here. Look at this.
Sounds like a beanbag kind
Yeah.
of deal.
I use that to put the laptop on when I'm there.
Yeah. But this is not the first time this has happened.
Not exactly
I
stable.
put the speaker because it's kind of like not like square, right, or flat or whatever.
Is it soft? Yeah, it's like
it's kind of soft, but anyway, just tumbled the speaker over. So I got distracted. Nothing broke, I don't think. I was hoping. I was like, okay, what just unplugged?
So you're saying we don't have an excuse for how bad the show is. Okay.
You know, it's funny. It's like this all comes 10 minutes after I just pushed out on social media because I was looking at Facebook memories. I love Facebook memories. And it was 4 years ago today. 4 years ago today that we launched, that we didn't launch a show, but we actually announced that we were going to launch the station. So that
4
came
years
in
ago? That's how's that possible?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was impossible, quite frankly. I put it at like 8 to 18 months. So we're well past the over, man. I mean, well past
Sounds
the
like
over.
how I talk to my wife about our marriage.
Yeah, that's not a lie. So appreciate everybody hanging with us while we fumble speakers and have fumbled a lot of other things along the way. But we are progressing and going into 2023, which I think is going to be a really fun year here on ESPN 690. Are we going to have a party this year or what? We couldn't because of the pandemic. I think we're going to try to have a party, right? January 14th is the actual anniversary date. So sometime in the middle of January, we're throwing ourselves a party.
I don't know, bro. Like, me and Aaron are here planning stuff all the time. Like, come into work early one day. We can have a conversation.
Here we go.
Here we go. I mean, you want to text early, first of all? No. Do you want to text? I mean, email? Not going to work early. You know how much work I did today?
Tell him, Brent.
We got the 12 days of Christmas coming up, and we're giving away a lot of stuff starting on Thursday.
This was a hot topic today on the radio program directors row.
Brent, we made people mad, bro. We did it. Look at us.
Oh, did we really?
Wait till you hear this.
I wouldn't say mad. I'm just saying there are a few radio stations that are trying to scrounge up some gifts for the end of the year, the season of giving. You want to hook your audience up with some prizing and stuff like that, especially this time of year where people are looking for that kind of stuff. And
well, what are they? Nobody's asking. Nobody's doing anything for us. We're going to get it.
Exactly.
No, that's what I said to Kasey. I was like, that's the problem. These other stations
Look
are
at
just
this hat.
asking with their hands out.
Look at this hat.
I like it.
Give two of these away a
you got a
day.
little Brent Friends logo
Little
on a beanie cap. Okay, I can get with that.
You like that?
For the 3 days it gets colder around here, all right.
I know, but hey, you gotta feel like winter.
I like it. I'll wear that.
So there you go. That's one of the prizes.
Cool.
Or giveaways. But we got plenty of stuff. So we don't need no Sundays on Mondays help.
I was just going to say, don't be surprised if you turn into your local pop station or alternative station and you see a Brent and Friends beanie cap up for grabs.
Yes, they will. That would not be different if we pull all this prize package stuff in. And you're giving away a 96.9
96.9 the Eagle. Win a TV's Brent Martineau hat.
Oh, man, what a day. What a life.
What a business.
What a business. That's right. Speaking of business, gosh, man, it's been a newsy like early December.
I'm glad you feel that way because me and Kasey were like, well, what's going on today? Because yesterday was a tsunami, and today feels like a bit of a whisper.
Really?
Just a little bit.
Lamar Jackson doesn't strike your fancy?
A little bit, but it's not, injured. He'll be taking some time. I guess we could talk about that in a little bit, but I didn't think it was earth-shattering. It's not like he's out for the season or anything.
Yeah, but a few weeks in December, man, that's a big deal.
Yep, it's a bad time to be out.
I mean, this is a team that won 4 of 5 and looked a little lost last week without him, right?
Yeah.
And so they're good defensively, we think. I mean, but they got lucky they won that game last week against Denver.
Yeah.
Or I should say fortunate. I mean, everybody's winning games other than the Jags against Denver. But I think it's a huge deal for Lamar Jackson. And by the way, it's a big deal for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, he's looking to make money on that contract at the end of the season into the offseason. He's going to be contract-less. Looking more and more like they're considering that franchise tag.
Yeah, but, the best way to get paid is to find out your replacement's no good. So
that's a good point.
If they're not any good, they're going to be like, actually, we need Lamar more.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's asking questions about whether that team – the entire team is run through that man. The question is, are you willing to guarantee $50 million a year?
Yeah, and the other part that's the thing. Are you ready to jump to that conclusion and hand out that kind of money? And you're aging. You're losing a lot. I don't know about a lot of players, but I'm not sure they're replenished for the next however many years. And keep in mind, Baltimore has done a very good job for a decade plus, if not longer.
Yeah, maybe more.
Of drafting and finding bodies. Sooner or later, Murphy's Law enters the equation,
Yeah.
And they've been built very nice around Lamar. For the most part, as a football team. Now, their offense lacks some weapons, obviously. So can they get them that? Can they do that? Can they make that more the focal point and then it takes it to the next level? We'll see. But I think this is a critical situation now for the Baltimore Ravens on two fronts. One, it's going to put them in a little bit of a pickle because this year's been on and off from Lamar the entire way. And it's been a little injury-prone now. He's had hip injuries, and now he's got this. And so that's something to keep in mind when you're handing a guy $45-50 million. He's electric. He's still good. I'm not trying to say, why would you? I'm just saying, is there a little pause? And now you got the Cincinnati Bengals playing really good football. They're the best team in that division right now. And the Browns did get Watson back. The AFC wildcard picture is pretty tight with the Jets in it, even the Patriots on the fringe. And what else happens in the West with the Raiders coming on strong? So, they fizzled down the stretch last year in Baltimore. I think it was what did Calais say? They lost 6 out of 7 or 7 out of 8 when we had them on here a couple weeks ago?
It was some kind of bad run.
Yeah, it was bad, and Lamar was hurt again.
Yeah, so what does this mean for Baltimore right now in the immediate, getting to the postseason, and longer term? I just think it's a pretty significant injury going on. I mean, obviously he's a star player, so it's significant, but I think it has a lot more oomph to it than just, hey, Lamar's hurt for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And it could really derail him.
It would be a big story. Don't get me wrong, but when you look in that division, you're like, oh, Joe Burrow plays here? It doesn't matter. They weren't winning the division anyway.
You're convinced, man. All it took you was a couple of weeks, and you're back on that Joe Shiesty train.
Love me some Joe Burrow.
Do you like Joe Burrow more than anybody in sports?
Yeah.
Oh, boo.
I think so.
Yeah, I think you do too.
Yeah. Because, I thought about some of my, favorite players in other sports. I'm like, well, retired, not
You don't like him better than Ohtani.
Oh, that's a good one. I do like Ohtani.
You do.
That's a good one. That's a good debate. I'll have to figure that out in my own headspace.
How could you even entertain that as a debate? You're claiming Ohtani's the best baseball player to ever live, ever. You think Burrow's the best football player ever?
No, but I just like him more. I think it's just I'm trying to bring the knowledge of Ohtani to the people, right? I'm trying to help you guys understand that you're watching the greatest baseball player to ever play the sport, and it's not even close. Burrow, I'll make that claim in 10 years. Just
Here's
give me
the
some
other
time.
thing that's really gross about you and Joe Burrow. The only things you like about him are the worst parts of him. This Joe Cool persona is so gross.
No. I love the whole thing at LSU,
it's so
too.
White sunglasses, popped collar, visor backwards and upside down.
This is a guy that had to deal with Urban Meyer at Ohio State. You didn't see that one coming today, did you?
No.
And
I
then
didn't.
transfers to LSU, becomes a legend. This guy's just great. I don't know what to
Very
tell you
talented.
guys.
Very talented.
Just great.
He is talented, but you like the swag. I think it's a little bit, he's like your age. So I think that's why you like him. You kind
that's
of wish you were Joe Burrow.
There's no doubt I wish I was Joe Burrow.
I wish I was Joe Burrow. I could be his dad.
I mean, you wish you were a guy that looks like Macaulay Culkin.
And still another rich person. So,
And by the way, speaking of that, all I could see last night
watch
at the
Home Alone
podium,
yesterday.
Home Alone, fantastic.
Home Alone 2.
Why didn't you? By the way, you watched Home Alone yesterday, but you couldn't watch Good Will Hunting for us.
I forgot about that. Sorry, guys.
Priorities.
Watch good.
I've never seen Good Will Hunting. I can't even believe we don't suspend him until
It's
he watches
un-American.
it.
That's my bad.
Kasey.
I got home. Amanda was watching Home Alone 2. I said, I'll jump into Home Alone 2, and then I went to bed.
Did anybody watch the post game of Tom Brady last night?
Home Alone 2.
So
I
no?
did not, no.
Can you call up post game of Tom Brady? And I'm not talking on the field. I'm talking in the news conference because I'm going to need your help here. Post game Tom Brady, I swear that was Kevin Bacon.
You think there's a stand-in happening?
Yeah.
I mean, Tom is rich enough to pay Kevin Bacon to do the work.
You guys see it? I mean, you got to find it. Come on, somebody find a
You
picture.
need a link, Kasey? What do you
He's got his hair all a mess, but he looks like he looks like Kevin Bacon in Name Me a Movie.
He's definitely had some work done. Like, is there any doubt at this point, especially I'm looking at some of these other pictures, and I don't know if it's just the diet he's on, because, he's on a special, witch doctor diet, no tomatoes, whatever it is. He's definitely had work done, though. I shouldn't say definitely.
Yeah, but I don't even, I more think it's just, if you look at Kevin Bacon when he was 45, 46, 48 years old, whatever it is, I mean, Tom Brady looks like he could be his brother.
So you don't actually want to hear from Tom? You just wanted us to look at him and confirm that he looks like Kevin Bacon?
Do you see what I see? That's what I've just thought that last night, and I'm not very good at this game usually, but I think that's what I saw. Did I see the right thing?
I don't see Kevin Bacon. I see a skeleton with Tom's skin draped over it. Like, this face has taken on a weird shape you don't normally see in people.
Yeah, I get it.
Like an upside-down trapezoid.
So I actually have a picture of Kevin Bacon up next to my screen. That kind of see it.
You do?
Kind of. A little bit.
Yeah, I'm not saying spin image, but that's all I saw. Yes, and again, I'm not the first guy to go to an actor in what I see or a musician or anything like that. And I was like, that is so Kevin Bacon.
I see it.
But anyway, Kevin Bacon, good actor. Is he a good actor? Is that a bad thing to say?
No, I think he's a great actor.
He was in that one movie.
The one movie.
All right, young guy. He was in a ton of iconic movies.
You know what's
and by
crazy?
The way,
is the one movie that I'm thinking of is definitely not what you guys are thinking.
No, you're probably thinking some dumb movie from 2019 or something like that.
Nope, I'm thinking the movie with Tom Cruise, but not that one. The one where he's a lawyer.
Is that A Few Good Men?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, great.
That's what I'm thinking of. But I guarantee when I said it, you guys thought something else.
Well, the top Kevin Bacon
Bakey.
The top Kevin Bacon iconic movie has to be Footloose.
Yeah, well,
it
that's
has
true.
to be Footloose.
Good point.
Then you could throw in,
well, he
some
wouldn't
of these other
know that one.
movies.
I don't give Kasey a hard time for not knowing.
I ain't seen no Footloose.
It's iconic.
Yeah, but
I seen the one where he's a lawyer.
I could see
Or
why
Tom Cruise
Kasey wasn't watching Footloose, though.
Oh, okay, fine. Especially if he's not watching Good Will Hunting.
I've heard the song.
Opting for Home Alone over Good Will Hunting. He's not watching Footloose.
Home Alone 2.
But did you liked Few Good Men, Kasey?
Yeah.
I mean, Few Good Men's awesome.
It's a good movie.
But, Good Will Hunting is in the realm of awesomeness that Few Good Men is. A Few Good Men, by the way, I should say. It is. So
okay.
I'm just telling you, if you liked A Few Good Men, you'll really appreciate and enjoy Good Will Hunting.
I did like A Few
Now,
Good
it's
Men.
not like the same movie. I'm just saying it's that kind of
Somebody
good.
should be getting sued.
Yeah, it's that kind of good is what I'm saying. And you
Okay.
can appreciate it. Because what I do wonder sometimes is a movie for us, and I wondered this with Top Gun, is it going to hit the kids the way it hit us, Aaron?
The kids these days or kids in general?
No, now. My daughter and my
Here's
son.
the thing. Good
and
Will
it did,
Hunting,
actually.
yeah.
Kaylee loved it. Kaylee loved both.
Good Will Hunting is not a superhero movie or an action flick. It's a drama with dialogue. I think those age a little bit better than some of these other movies.
Yeah.
Comedies or action movies in general, really.
By the way, getting some love in the chat for Good Will Hunting. Apparently, top 10 movie of all time, says Sox VT13.
Yeah, man.
And then I have multiple people saying Mystic River. Is that a Kevin Bacon thing?
Yeah, Mystic River.
That's
River.
That's an old person's movie.
That's a little Rhode
I
Island
won't recommend that one. But
Called it-
Tremors was great.
Tremors?
Yeah,
he's
Tremors.
He's played some goofy roles.
Sounds like he's been in a lot of stuff. This guy's really doing it. I think he sings too, right? He's in a band.
Yeah, he's in a good band. Yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Look at us. We're learning things about Kevin Bacon. Also, since we're talking about absolutely nothing, I just want to jump in with when the show started at 3 o'clock, Portugal was up 2-0. It's now 4-0 in
Wow, that's a lot
16
in
more
soccer.
minutes. So
Portugal should beat Switzerland, though.
they're going
Morocco
to.
should not have beaten Spain.
That was fun. That was a good time.
Yeah, that did happen.
I didn't
anyway-
realize we were still going to talk about the World Cup after America was kicked out.
I'm not.
Anyway,
really.
back
Kasey
to
brought it
Kevin
up.
Bacon, right?
Unless we're talking about Croatia.
Yeah, the boys are going to be in trouble. I'm not going to lie to you.
I know they're playing Brazil next, but that's whatever.
This has been a great segment. Also, while we're at it, some love in the chat for the beanie as well, Brent. If you could throw that back on your head to
Yeah,
let
the
people see it.
beanie. The beanie is. I'm putting it over my.
Nice.
I believe the quote was, "It's fire."
Yeah.
You like the beanie? That's good, man. I like when I did okay.
That
We're gonna
beanie
give
is
away some
fire
beanies.
with multiple E's.
Listen, whenever Brent makes a correct decision regarding fashion, it's very much the broken clock theory. Like even a broken clock is right twice a day.
That's
like
not
sometimes
true.
Brent will guess and nail it.
That's not true because people love the Dream 18 stuff that we have in our golf
You
cart.
did have great hats.
It's
Well,
now
not only
4-1. This game is wild. People are just scoring
it's
every
not
4
just that.
seconds.
Hey, guys, are you surprised John Robinson, the Titans GM, fired
Shocking.
in the middle of the season?
Shocking.
Nope.
What?
And I understand Casey's going to say that he's going to fill us in on his take. He's got a take. But I'm sitting here going, what? Look at that resume. Unreal. And maybe I'm just like, it's not spoiled, but maybe I'm just conditioned to the Jaguars' way of doing things where we just hold on for a really long time. But I really don't feel like Robinson earned it unless there was a problem between him and the owner.
Casey, go ahead. Give him your spiel.
No, I mean it's as simple as this. When you have a guy that is top of his job that he has,
You're
top
talking
of
about
his position
A.J.
in AJ
Brown.
Brown, and you make the decision
Yep.
as the person in charge of, who signs players, who brings players in, you make the decision, you know what, this guy's not worth our money. We're going to get Treylon Burks instead because that makes perfect sense. And then he absolutely wrecks you on the field and just torches your corners, makes it an embarrassing loss for your team. Somebody got to lose their job. People are keeping their jobs a lot longer than they should. That you should have lost your job. No questions asked. That guy wasn't good enough to be paid by us. We're going to let him go. He's not top of the line. We can get just as good for cheaper. No, you can't. And you proved you wrong.
But the Titans weren't saying A.J. Brown wasn't good enough to get paid by us. They were saying we weren't willing to invest that much money at wide receiver where we had other needs.
And it was a wrong decision.
Well, Treylon Burks actually started to work out for him. He's injured now, but he's in the concussion protocol. But he was starting to work out really nicely for him.
Take us
like
back to the
AJ.
A.J. Brown thing a little bit, too. Didn't he kind of demand some of it? Like, he's
Yeah,
like, all right, then get me
he
out of
wanted
here.
out. He wanted
He
out.
wanted to be paid. Or he did what the other receivers did. The difference is San Francisco said, yeah, we want Debo.
How'd that
And they
work
signed
out
him.
so far? How's Debo
Yeah,
doing?
is he earning it? Because I don't think so.
Not a clue. They're winning games, though, and they'll go to the playoffs, so
They
he'll
were
have a
winning
chance
games,
to.
but he wasn't earning it.
Terry McLaurin said, hey, pay me. They paid him. They
How's he
showed
doing?
faith in
How's
their guy.
Terry doing?
He's doing well. What are you talking about?
Only recently.
Yeah, they had Carson Wentz, who sucks.
That's not nice.
And now
I-
A.J. Brown.
Listen, A.J. Brown, we knew it when they got rid of him. They didn't have much else, so it was problematic. But what else behind the scenes? I actually wonder if it's more that or if it's more Vrabel power structure type thing. And did they kind of splinter apart? Vrabel's done a heck of a job with a team that, I always do say that it's a little – I don't think it's as talented as they produce wins. So maybe – this shouldn't be that surprising. Like, I don't think they're the most talented team out there. I think Vrabel gets a lot out of them. And in this instance, what you really have to wonder is Vrabel really wanted A.J. Brown. And did that punctuate it? And has he been telling ownership or privately, like, why did we do this? Why do we do this? Why do we do this? And then, boom, there's the evidence. So that was, to your point, it kind of does mix in. Like, this was the tipping point because Vrabel, who now has the power, who probably should have most of the power because he's got a lot out of that football team over the years, now is like, all right, that's the tipping point, man. I can't do this. I told you guys for months and months this was going to happen, and look what happened.
Yeah, there's a good video going around Twitter, and has been for a little bit, but it's certainly making the rounds again today based on the news, of Vrabel in the war room after finding out A.J. Brown was traded.
Oh, I do remember that.
He just gets up angrily and starts pacing around. And it's, obviously he wasn't happy about it. But do you really think Vrabel has earned the power over the front office and the general manager? I struggle when teams start to do stuff like that.
Yeah, I know that you've got to be careful how much power you give one person, Urban Meyer. But the idea that someone doesn't have more power is also a little ridiculous because in every office, every front office in the NFL, you can kind of tell who has more power, right? Who has more say. Like in Dallas, Jerry Jones and the ownership has the power.
Yeah.
And
Belichick in New England.
And Belichick in New England as head coach. Pete Carroll, they work hand in hand, but certainly Pete Carroll has more sway.
Andy Reid,
right? Yeah. And Andy Reid, good point. So I think these guys have built up equity. What's really interesting about this in Vrabel's situation, and again, I think it's fair to say, I say it every year, this team doesn't look that great outside of a couple of really good players. And he gets the most out of them. I think he's earned some of that equity. He's earned some of that power. And by the way, keep in mind, it's going to happen here in Jacksonville too. I think we are on our way to seeing it in Jacksonville. I'm not saying like, hey, Doug Peterson's going to fire Trent Baalke. But there's no doubt who has the power in Jacksonville right now, or should, right? I mean, Doug Peterson, in a short time, has earned the power of the organization, I would think. And going forward, that's just going to keep going. Can he work? Will he work with Baalke another year or so? Maybe. Will he decide at the end of this year, hey, this isn't working, I'm going to speak up about it? I don't know. But could Peterson be the guy that actually changes the course of what they do in the front office? I think absolutely. And I think Vrabel's example is kind of setting the table for it.
It just goes to show you that in the case of Peterson, it's not like Vrabel where the team is in first place with a winning record and struggling in places where you hope they wouldn't. In the Peterson case, the team's 4-8, but there's so much you can see in terms of progress, growth, culture change that you can hang on that man's shoulders that you go, yeah, he has earned it, despite 4-8.
Yeah, well, he came in and had to switch everything around. I think, again, maybe the wins need to come more, but he's developing the quarterback. The offense is moving. The culture is where it needs to be. Those aren't things that Trent Baalke did. Right?
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So I think Doug, I don't know, do you guys agree with me? You think Doug can, over the next month and a half and turning into 2023, could he have a lot more power in that building with Shad Khan in personnel moves and other things? And again, I say be careful now. Don't give one person all the power. That's dangerous. But I just feel like we're going to see a shift where this was probably a team deal, especially since he got in late. And sure, Doug was going to have a say because he wanted to say. He said that at his opening news conference. But I do wonder now if he's going to have even more say because, quite frankly, if there's a guy I trust in that building right now from a football standpoint, it's absolutely Doug Peterson, and he is number one by far.
I think the coach in general should just have more say. So, in this example, yeah, Doug Peterson. I think –
Where's the limits to that? What kind of more say are you looking for?
I think that, I would rather have my coach deciding who's playing for him than some guy that we made the GM who's not the coach. Does that make any sense at all? The GM is just a dude, right? Who has the credentials, okay, he worked his way up, so did the coach. But the coach is the person putting people in position to succeed. He should get to say, this is who I want. And he can say it to the GM, but at the end of the day, the GM's got to say too. I'd rather have the coach making that call.
Yeah, I disagree. I come from the school of thought that the coach gets to determine the style of play of the team, right? Essentially the personality of the team. But whatever kind of defense or offense you're going to run, the coach is going to be responsible for figuring that out. Then it's the GM's challenge to go fill that roster with people that coach can win with. And I really don't like when coaches, and I saw it happen to my Jets back in the day with Bill Parcells, where head coaches start to become GMs, whether they have the position title or not. Because that was a trend, too, for a while also, where you had coach GMs, and that just didn't work out either.
That's too much.
Yeah.
That is too much. Now, listen, those guys put a lot of work in, the scouting and everything else. And I'll give this to Trent Baalke, by the way. I think he got character guys, him and Doug together. I think they did work together at the free agency and everything else. And they had certain guys they wanted. They knew there could be some tough times. They want a good locker room. They've been able to do that, and it is a good locker room. But, go back to Dave Caldwell. I think he made a mistake in the early days of not having enough veteran guys. Then he might have taken too much risk, and they had a weird locker room, a locker room that wasn't all meshing together, right? So does the coach understand that better than the GM? Probably. Who has set the culture in Jacksonville? And sure, Trent Baalke has worked with Doug on it, but Doug Peterson has set the culture in Jacksonville, not Trent Baalke.
Yeah.
And so if your coach is going to set the culture, he damn sure better have some say on who he's bringing in. And especially since he's got the vision of what plays are working. Like, I think a lot of the offensive moves that were made, Doug had this vision like, okay, I can do this with Zay Jones. I can do this with Christian Kirk. I can do this with Marvin, who we've got. Ingram, we bring him in. I got all these plays designed with ETN. Like, that's how they made the moves in the offseason. I can make this work. And he should have the say in that because looking at his offensive prowess, I want him picking the groceries and saying, I can have this guy do that. The GM has to work. You have to work together, though.
Yeah, I'm just curious where you draw the line on whose job is what.
I don't know if there is a line. I think it changes depending on what's going on in the building. But it's a delicate dance now, and it's a dance in Jacksonville that they haven't perfected. And I'm just not sure, given performance now on the defensive side and some of the pickups, and just the background of Balky, if this is going to be a long-term dance here in Jacksonville. And I think Doug Peterson will have a say in if it is or not. That's my point. We'll be back from Davoli's House of Cards, Brent Friends on ESPN 690 here on a Tuesday.
Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the 2022 World Soccer Championship in Qatar, sponsored by Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous with Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Trying to advance past the knockouts for the first time since 2006, Portugal is battling Switzerland in the final knockout match in Lusail today. Portugal leads Switzerland 2-0 at the half. Getting the start ahead of Cristiano Ronaldo, Gonzalo Ramos broke through for Portugal with a goal in the 17th minute before 39-year-old defender Pepe made it 2-0 with a header in the 33rd. In a controversial move, Cristiano Ronaldo did not start this match after expressing anger over being subbed during Friday's match against South Korea. The winner advances to play Morocco in a nail-biter in Doha after 123 minutes. It came down to a penalty shootout where Morocco upset Spain 3-0 on penalties to advance to the quarterfinals. I'm Erica Herskowitz, Westwood One Sports.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer Wet Jet. With Swiffer Wet Jet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer Wet Jet. The faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Nothing goes better with football than pigskin. So celebrate Pork Rind Appreciation Day this football season with the bacony crunch of Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Get a low-carb, protein-packed pork rind snack that's as tasty out of the bag as it is in your favorite keto-friendly recipe. Find your rind in the snack aisle today or at southernrecipe.com. Southern Recipe Pork Rinds.
Available in the snack aisle at your local racetrack today.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Some areas of patchy fog this morning, but we'll be replacing that with abundant sunshine by mid to late morning and temperatures rising into the middle and upper 70s today. Mostly clear skies tonight with a couple areas of patchy fog yet again and even warmer temperatures on the way for Wednesday, all while staying nice and dry. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Trevor Gibbs.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Right now, get 42% off everything in the store. Don't buy until you get our price.
Buying or leasing a car in Jacksonville is the best with Fields Auto Group, Jacksonville's luxury auto group. Lexus of Jacksonville and Orange Park, Mercedes-Benz of Jacksonville, Orange Park, Jaguar Land Rover, Jacksonville, Porsche, Jacksonville, Fields Cadillac, Jacksonville, and St. Augustine. If the luxury car you want isn't in stock, Fields Auto Group will order it. And at Fields, you'll never be charged over sticker price. Stop by a Fields store today and see what world-class service really means. Fields is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Fields Auto Group, fieldsauto.com.
Do you make a purchase just because it's cheap? Never, right? So why would you ever purchase a do-it-yourself security system just because it's cheap? Right now, some companies say you can buy a refurbished one for a whopping $206. Refurbished means the last family found it unacceptable, and now they want to pawn it off on you. And that's more upfront money than SafeTouch security charges for their Advantage package, which includes a two-way communicator. And the SafeTouch system includes free installation by SafeTouch professionals. After all, you're the least experienced security installer you know, right? SafeTouch gives you 24/7 UL-approved monitoring in their very own central station right here where you live. So the do-it-yourself system has cheap, non-professional equipment, comes with no Florida license, and wholesale who-knows monitoring. SafeTouch Security comes with the finest equipment available, certified installers, and monitoring right here in Florida, with a lifetime warranty on parts and labor. Call 888-723-8682 or visit safetouch.com today. State license number EF0000233.
Forever Vets Pet Resort at Durbin is officially open. Whether you're looking to board your pet during a vacation or looking for a place for them to play during the day, look no further. Forever Vets Pet Resort has officially opened its doors. With roomy, climate-controlled indoor play areas for big and small dogs, shaded outdoor play areas with a splash zone, and private cat condos including access to a cat tree-filled oasis, your pet will feel right at home. Forever Vets Pet Resort will provide a comfortable place for your pets while you're away and ensure your four-legged friend is safe and happy during their stay. Take advantage of a free day of play to all new clients. And if you purchase one night of boarding, you'll receive half off your next night. Want to learn more? Give us a call or go to forevervets.com. You can also stop by for a free facility tour. We're open 7 days a week with extended hours for your convenience. Forever Vets Pet Resort at Durbin is now open for reservations.
The 12 Days of Christmas is back at Best Bet Jacksonville. Yes, our popular 12 Days of Christmas high-hand promotion will be going on from December 12th to the 23rd. Best Bet will be paying out over $260,000 during this promotion, with daily high hands increasing every day from $1,200 up to $2,300. With great cash games and daily tournaments going on, there's always a ton of action happening at Best Bet. Check out all our great promotions in December. Visit bestbetjacks.com for more information. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe.
Hey, welcome back. We are live at Tivoli's House of Cards. Brent Friends on ESPN 690. Brent Morton, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz, and now joined by UNF men's basketball coach Matthew Driscoll in Houston to take on the number one ranked team in the land. All right, give me some history, Coach Driscoll. Have you guys played the number one team in the country before? Was UCLA or Kentucky? Remind me.
So 14 years that we've been here, and we've never had a non-conference schedule that wasn't loaded with a lot of heavily ranked teams. However, played number 2 3 times, but have never had the opportunity to play the number one team. However, I will give you a piece of trivia, and let's see what kind of memory you have. What usually takes place in mid-February that's pretty popular around these parts?
Mardi Gras?
Around Jacksonville. No, Jacksonville.
Oh, around these parts. In mid-February. In the Jacksonville area, or like down Daytona?
No. Near,
like Daytona 500?
There you go.
Okay.
Daytona 500. February 18th, 2001, what unfortunately took place.
Oh, the passing of Dale Earnhardt.
On that day, the day before, on February 17th, at practice that day, as the Clemson Tigers, assistant coach by Matthew Driscoll, was preparing to play the number one North Carolina Tar Heels at our place. We were on a bad losing streak. They were on a great winning streak. And I remember a friend of mine was at practice, and our managers and walk-ons destroyed our starters. That night, eating pizza at my house, he says to me, Coach, how in the world are you guys going to beat the number one team in the country? And I said, listen, if you compete, you fight, and you believe, you just never know what's going to transpire. But you have to do those things. If you don't, then they're going to smash you. But if you do, you never know what's going to happen. And on that day, February 18th, 2001, those Clemson Tigers started the downfall of number one North Carolina. If you remember, in 2001, they called that the Black Sunday. And there was 4 straight Black Sundays. They lost to us. They lost to Duke in the last game of the year. They lost to Duke in the ACC championship, and they lost to Penn State and going to the Elite Eight in the NCAA tournament 4 straight Sundays. So I've actually been in this situation before as a large underdog, and have got to play against a team like this before. And at the end of the day, you still have to play the game. So really, really excited about this opportunity for our guys.
Hey, give me real quick. You mentioned North Carolina. Just like a and not that we asked you to come on and talk North Carolina, but what happened to them? We're so early in the season. Like, I don't get to see a bunch of the other teams. I mean, they're number one in the country, and now they're out of the top 25. Like, what happened? Were they just overrated, or what?
I think a couple things. I think, number one, maybe get the NIL higher. No, I'm joking. I think a couple things. Number one, I think earlier in the year, if you look at their games, they had a lot of close games and a lot of games that were, against teams they were heavily favored against. And, coming back, they obviously, when Baycott came back, they thought with the guards, with Love and those guys, they thought they had a really, really good chance of being wherever they were. But if you remember last year, they didn't get good until about mid-January. And so I think they're having some chemistry. I think they're having some, guys got different agendas. And even though guys come back, they still have agendas. I've been at that level. I know what it's like. And people are talking in their ears, and people are saying, you got to do this, and, you're moving down the draft board. And so all this stuff comes into play. And next thing you know, it snowballs. And you lose one, and next thing you know, people start saying, the media starts saying, are they overrated? Are they not good enough? Did they this? Did they that? Next thing you know, that stuff starts creeping in, and now doubt starts coming in. You know what happens when you have doubt. Mm-hmm. You just, Tom Brady don't have doubt. He's just going to do whatever he can to win the game, whatever it's going to take, and if they lose, they lose. So I think they have some chemistry scenarios that are going on, but I do think Coach will fix it. I do think they'll be fine. But the ACC, I mean, Virginia is very, very talented. The thing about people don't ever talk about Virginia is because they got everybody back, nobody left, and they got a transfer in, and so they're really, really, really good. Obviously, they're 3 in the country right now, and Purdue's really, really good. Texas obviously is playing at a high level, and then of course Houston. So it's college basketball at this stage. You're probably right. We probably shouldn't put out a top 25 till maybe January 1st, till after teams got to play other teams. But it is what it is, and it's maybe uncovered a wart, so to speak.
Yeah, Matthew Driscoll with us, UNF men's basketball coach here in Houston to take on number 1 in the country, Houston, today. Houston's a big city. Houston's a proud program. It has some really good tradition. But how did they get to number 1 in the country? How are they now perennially good? Is Sampson that good of a coach?
First of all, I coached against Coach when I was at Baylor and he was at Oklahoma before he left and went to Indiana. And the one thing about Coach is he's always going to take those guys that are a little bit this, a little bit that, maybe not big enough, maybe not, this, that, and the other. But he's going to play such an aggressive, physical, and relentless style of basketball. Always sends 4 guys to the glass. Is one of the top defensive teams, and they're holding their opponent to 30% from the field at 19 from 3. And so they're always going to be on charge. St. Mary's gave him a great game the other night. Kent State had a 3 with 30 seconds to go to tie it. So that people have been there, but they've been able to kind of work through that. And when you think about Houston, you talked about tradition. Where we're playing is where those guys played. All they did is they just put 20 million or 30 million into it and dressed it up. But that's where those guys played. It's the 4th largest city in America. Mm-hmm. So you're talking about a ton of alums, a ton of tradition, like all that stuff pour into one. And the league that they played in, or they play in right now, they're pretty dominant. And so you get dominant, you get confident, you get that kind of game. Remember, when you get to the tournament, it's 6 games, but the matchup is every bit as important as anything else. And so you haven't maybe seen that team, maybe that team, that's physicality, that relentless rebounding. And the games are always, low. I don't think they've had an opponent score over 50-some points, 52 or 56, 54, something like that in a long time. So when you have that kind of a game, it makes it, they're always in the game. So Coach does a great job. Coach is always going to have those guys, but that's kind of why. And now they're going to the Big 12, and now they got the best. I mean, they got a great freshman who's a first round one and done, number 25, lottery guy. And so now he can start getting those dudes, and he also, the other thing too, Brent, remember this: when you're in the 4th largest city in America, if dudes decide they do want to go to a blue blood and it doesn't work out, they're coming back home too. So he gets those dudes as well too.
Yeah,
so,
especially
so
in
Coach
today's
has done
climate.
a great job.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, because think about college football. I mean, I think the other day I read something where, like, you would know because I'm sure you've talked about this. Are the top 6 ACC quarterbacks in the portal?
I think, or headed there. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Statistically, I think the top 6 statistically are in the portal.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Because the guy from Pitt just got in, and the guy from Boston College just went to Pitt. So, you talk about all these changing pieces and all these different things. And so, the NIL has basically made, college athletics, a free agency scenario because of the ability to make large sums of money and then the ability to play right away and not having to sit out and then get that fit. I mean, you get a guy like Caleb Williams, you get a guy like that goes to USC, and even the kid, I forget his name. What's the kid at South Carolina?
Yeah, Rattler.
He was number 1. Wasn't he number 1 2 years ago, Heisman Trophy guy?
Yeah, or he was like
Caleb Williams replaces him.
Yep.
And Caleb Williams replaces him. Then he goes to South Carolina. He doesn't do anything until the last 2 games. He beats 2 top 10 teams, and all of a sudden, that's the guy we always thought he could be. And guess what? Sometimes it takes time. And now, this kid's probably writing his own checkbook. Who knows? But my point is, with the NIL and the ability to transfer, I mean, it's really, really, really free agency at the highest level in college athletics.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Matthew Driscoll with us. Good job with the basketball and football and college sports analysis right there. Now let's get Matthew Driscoll, the coach. You guys could have or almost did final possession type stuff with Washington out west, and then Duquesne, and then this weekend against High Point. Your record obviously is never as good as your team is. How do you feel right now, even though you lost a couple of those tight games in games that you thought you could have won?
I mean, obviously I'm sick to my stomach, especially with the 89th most experienced team in America. You really, as a coach, those are the ones where you got to get that stop, or you got to get that basket, or you got to, make that free throw. Whatever the scenario was in each of those games. And people were like, well, coach, it's the Pac-12 and it's the Atlantic 10 and it's and the thing that I always talk about is this, Brent. And I'm just, obviously I'm just like, you can do the background for it if you want to do it, but you don't need to do it because I'm just going to tell you. Like, the one thing that's always difficult is at the end of the day, like, winning is fun. And winning is really, really, really important. So, like, for instance, you wouldn't know this, but in the last 4 years, in February alone, we're 20-7. And that includes the COVID year where we were 1-3, but we never played a home game in February. If you take out the COVID year, like, that's 6-1, 7-1, 6-2, 19-4, 83% in February.
Yeah.
And you say to yourself, how do you do that? Well, like, we've got to get that rhythm. We've got to find that rhythm. And then it starts with, obviously, like you just said, that high point, one more stop, one more basket. Duquesne, hit the free throw, get the stop, the guy doesn't make the floater. Washington, one more stop, you cut it to 2, you make 2 big threes, you get down. Next thing you know, you get a bada bing, bada boom, and now you're up 1. And so it's a fine line. It's such a fine line. And for our guys, we just got to keep coaching them through it. We got to keep showing them. We got to keep saying, here's what we need to do. Here's what we need to fix. But at the end of the day, we got to do it. Remember last year, we lost 4 games at home in the last possession when we started the league off 1-7.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to be in games, and you're going to need that experience to pay off.
I like our group, but I don't like getting experience through losing. So, we just got to continue to fight. But I love this group. I love what we have. I think we got all the right pieces. I think we got all the right parts. We just got to put it together. And Jose and I talked this morning during video when he and I had our one-on-one video, and that's something that we talked about. And at the end of the day, we've got to put it together.
Well, go have some fun tonight. Put it together. Maybe pull off the upset for the ages at Houston, number 1 in the country. It'll be the first time in the Matthew Driscoll era they have played the top team in the country.
I'll call in live tonight, and we'll be on TV with you.
Yeah, please do. We'll be waiting for it.
Sound great?
Thanks, man.
All right, my brother. Appreciate you.
All right, that is Matthew Driscoll, UNF men's basketball coach, up against the number 1 team in the land tonight in Houston. They are very, very good, and trust me, the Ospreys are good. They're going to be fine. They got to win those tight games, but it's all about January, February, and March when it comes to UNF in reality, and they are going to be fine. They're a good basketball team. Just got to pull some things out at the end, clean it up a little bit. Tonight will be a tall task, but a fun one for the Ospreys on the road in Texas. We'll be back. We're having some fun right here from Tivoli's House of Cards down in St. Johns County. Come on out, join us until 6 o'clock. Brent Friends on ESPN 690.
Are you kidding me? Gas prices are up again? Somebody has to do something.
Well, someone did. That's why I use Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that pays you back real money for every gallon of gas or diesel you buy. I just earned 25 cents back on every gallon of this tank.
Hold on. So the Upside app is free and you actually get cash back every time you use it? No strings attached?
Yep, it's awesome. Check it out. It only takes a couple of minutes to sign up.
Instead of just watching your dollars go into your tank, start putting money back into your wallet with the free app from Upside. With the price of gas today, it's big news and big money. To cash out of your Upside cash, just transfer it to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card. Upside users have already earned over $200 million. Now it's your turn. Download the free Upside app and get cash back on every gallon of gas. Use promo code GAS11 for an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill-up. That's code GAS11. Use code GAS11 for an extra 25 cents per gallon back in your first fill-up. Cashback's not available in gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Attention Dish customers. Dish Network pulled WFOX Fox 30 off the air, depriving you of your favorite programming. That means no sports, local news, weather, traffic, or the shows you love. Call Dish now at 1-800-333-3474 and tell them to put WFOX Fox 30 back on the air.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
If you have certain chronic conditions such as heart disease,
asthma,
diabetes, and you're 19 years of age or older,
52, 36,
42, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I'm going to ask my doctor about getting vaccinated.
With Prevnar 20.
Hey First Coast, it's time for a different type of football. Both men's and women's pro soccer is coming to Northeast Florida for the first time with Jack's USL, and we need your support. We want you to help us name our new teams by visiting jacksusl.com and give us your team name suggestions. You can also become a founding member of our exciting new USL Pro Soccer clubs and receive a free and exclusive collectible NFT from Campus Legends. Enjoy the World Cup, Jacksonville. We can't wait for kickoff.
There's life before sports injury, and there's life after. You're in pain, and you need answers, fast. Mayo Clinic's orthopedic and sports medicine team will see you same day, no referral necessary. Rest assured, we'll get it right from the start and have you back in action as quick as you can say. Ranked the #1 hospital in Florida for orthopedics. To schedule, visit sportsmedicine.mayoclinic.org.
Victim of a slip and fall? It takes one phone call to take back control of your life. Anajar and Levine will fight to get you the compensation you deserve. Call me, Mark Anajar, for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Main office, Jacksonville.
Ask yourself, how often do you go to the second page for the answer to something you are looking for when searching on Google? I asked 10 people, and 1 out of 10 said rarely, while the other 9 said never. Websites that are stuck on page 2 or farther never get the attention or web traffic they deserve. Cox Media Group can fix that ranking by making sure that your business is the answer to the questions most people are asking. It's Cox Media Group's mission to help make sure that your business is seen as the trusted expert in your field. Head to cmg.com to find out more, and we'll reach out to you with the next steps.
It's time to turn on the savings, even on used. Toyotathon is on at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. That's over 400 pre-owned on the lot. All makes, all models, ready to test drive, save big, and take home today. Plus, Arlington's 30-day exchange program comes with your purchase. That's 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it. What are you waiting for? Get Toyotathon savings at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned today. Shop in person and online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Toyotathon for full details.
In Florida, it's not if the storms are coming, it's when the storms are coming. And that's why you need the Chief. Jacksonville's chief meteorologist, Mike Burrish, with a proven track record of keeping local families safe. Rain, heat, hurricanes, flooding, tornadoes. We get it all. Just more reasons why you need the Chief. Chief meteorologist Mike Burrish, backed by the First Alert Weather Team. Only on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions, plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jax. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Welcome back to Voley's House of Cards here on a Tuesday, 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. It's Brent Friends on ESPN 690. 6 o'clock, it's overtime with Kurtz and Middleton. If you missed any of Maurice Jones-Drew and Rasheem Mathis trying to explain Sunday's loss by the Jags, you can check it out on the YouTube channel. Just subscribe to Action Sports Jax. Tomorrow, Clay Harbor will join us as well. Might have some more guests trickling through as this is Tennessee Titans week in Jacksonville. The big news in Tennessee is it really doesn't impact a football game because the GM got fired, and that doesn't matter for Sunday, but it might matter going forward. Be interesting to see what happens from here on out. No doubt more power going the way of Mike Vrabel. Brent Martineau here, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz back in the Action Sports Jax studios, and we only have a couple of minutes, fellas, before we hit the top of the hour. One question I'm going to ask, throughout the show or a little bit later on the show, might be coming up next, is Stetson Bennett's age has become like this thing now because of the Heisman Trophy finalists. What did you think about the Heisman Trophy finalists in general? Were you surprised Bennett was on the list?
Nah, you got to fill out the card, right? You know what I'm saying? You got to have the amount of people.
Like he hasn't earned the right to be in the conversation?
Well, he's no Caleb Williams. You know what I mean? So
I get that. It's going to be a landslide difference between the two.
I mean, again, when everyone's beating each other, there hasn't been a ton of greatness, and they're undefeated, so I get it.
Like Hooker, should he be there?
I'm a big fan of Hooker. I hope the Jets draft this guy. Injury and all.
Like, I'm fine. If he was on it instead of Stetson, I'm fine. Like, I just think
he's had the better season.
It doesn't really matter who that person is.
But the team hasn't been better. Obviously, this is what Stetson is getting rewarded for, the dominance that Georgia has seen on offense.
I'm a big supporter of you send the only people that could actually win. So instead of nominating 5, you send Duggan and Caleb Williams. Because I don't need to hear everybody else talk and the feature story. Like, just tell me who actually could possibly win and send them.
What's a bigger separation in college football this year? The best team in the land and everybody else, or the best player in the land and everybody else?
I don't think anyone's close to Georgia.
Than everybody?
Yeah,
yes.
I don't think anyone's close to Georgia. I think there are a few guys.
I think Michigan might cover the spread at best. That's
but
what
like Caleb
what
Williams is a runaway winner,
Double
right?
digit?
Digits, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And Caleb Williams a runaway winner at Heisman, though.
It would seem that way.
I would think, but people really like Max Duggan.
And by the way, there are other guys who have had big seasons. Like the Athletic did a really interesting piece about the Heisman hopefuls, but as blind candidates. You don't know their names. You just see their stats.
Yeah.
And it was pretty interesting to do the exercise.
Yeah, it's usually a little bit closer than, where does Heisman moments come in, who's on the center stage. It is a little bit of campaigning and politicking. I think the post-game news conference actually helped Duggar.
Wow.
Right? I mean, that I think it helped.
When he was crying and stuff, yeah. Good.
I think people get attached to that stuff. They feel that. And that was, by the way, days before the vote, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, interesting. Hey, very interesting Andrew Luck article today, too, we're going to get into. That's all happening here on a Tuesday, live from DeVoley's House of Cards. Brent Friends on ESPN 690. We'll be back 4 o'clock hour up next.
Best Bet is paying out over $725,000 in promotions this December. Kick off your holiday festivities at Best Bet Jacksonville, Best Bet Orange Park, and Best Bet St. Augustine with exciting promotions like Table Share Tuesdays and $500 table share drawings. Or play our fun table games like 1-card poker, 3-card poker, face-up Pie Gal, and Ultimate Texas Hold'em. If you don't know how to play these card games, no worries. Our friendly dealers will be happy to teach you. Visit bestbetjacks.com for more information.
Attention Dish customers. Dish Network pulled WFOX Fox 30 off the air, depriving you of your favorite programming. That means no sports, local news, weather, traffic, or the shows you love. Call Dish now at 1-800-333-3474 and tell them to put WFOX Fox 30 back on the air.
This year, CGC Water Treatment is celebrating 75 years in business. Put their experience to work for you. Discover how good your water can be with a new Connecticut softener and drinking water system like the one my family's had for more than 5 years now. Connecticut's twin tank, non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Now through the end of December, trade in your existing equipment and get $750 off a Connecticut Premier Series softener. Great financing available for the holidays, subject to credit approval. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That number again, 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment, authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rubinsky. The physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, to eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Prime Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now, 904-664-8214. 904-664-8214. That's 904-664-8214.
Eggnog in the carpet, wine on the sofa, dingy-looking tile and grout, no problem. Call Zero Res. Zero Res technicians are cleaning freaks. Over 5,000 five-star customer reviews. Zero Res, spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
Buying or leasing a car in Jacksonville is the best with Fields Auto Group, Jacksonville's luxury auto group. Lexus of Jacksonville and Orange Park, Mercedes-Benz of Jacksonville, Orange Park, Jaguar Land Rover, Jacksonville, Porsche, Jacksonville, Fields Cadillac, Jacksonville, and St. Augustine. If the luxury car you want isn't in stock, Fields Auto Group will order it. And at Fields, you'll never be charged over sticker price. Stop by a Fields store today and see what world-class service really means. Fields is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Fields Auto Group, fieldsauto.com.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. New development regarding Odell Beckham Jr. ESPN's Ed Werder's reporting the Cowboys have concerns after the free agent receiver's physical that his recovery from a torn ACL has not progressed enough to ensure that he'd play before mid-January. There is a chance that no team signs Beckham for this season, believes our Chris Canty.
If Jerry and the Cowboys decide not to do the deal, then I have serious doubts that Odell can help anybody this season and impact their playoff chances or their title aspirations.
OBJ's met with the Giants, Cowboys, and Bills. The Titans with a major change to their front office. They fired GM John Robinson 2 days after they were routed by Philadelphia, a game in which receiver A.J. Brown, traded to the Eagles by the Titans in the offseason, had 2 touchdowns. Team owner Amy Adams-Strunk said she thinks the Titans have made significant progress, but there is more to be done and higher aspirations to be met. Eagles defensive end Robert Quinn headed to IR with a knee issue. He'll miss at least the next 4 games. Round of 16 at the World Cup today. Portugal defeated Switzerland easily 6-1 to advance to the quarterfinals of the tournament.
Coming up on Wednesday, does the road to the Super Bowl go through Kansas City? I'll explain why maybe not so fast, my friend. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Mac, Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
We're going to have to show a little more patience than the year 2 pom-pom people.
Casey Kurtz.
Yo! Well, what are we doing, bro? Come on!
And Aaron Schachter.
I'm all in favor of these two showing their love, really celebrating their relationship.
Get him! Get him! Get him! Hit him! Hit him! Yeah! Boom! Yeah! Boom! Yeah! Boom! Yeah! Boom! This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz, and Aaron Schachter on Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio, ESPN 690.
4 o'clock hour from down here at Davoli's House of Cards in St. Johns County, right off 210. Come on by, say hello. We're here just about every Tuesday. Actually, been here about every Tuesday except for last week. So, yeah, every Tuesday.
Do I owe any money to you while you're at Davoli's?
Oh, you do, bro. You do. You lost last week.
What else is new? So this is going to be another thing where you guys owe me money and never pay me.
No, I just paid you recently. What are you talking about?
What did you pay me?
I gave you like a $20 Venmo a couple of weeks ago.
Are you sure?
That was me.
No, it was him too. He was talking about how I owed him money for cards or whatever, and I threw him. I'm going to pull up the receipts. I got literal receipts.
Yeah, you do.
Venmo keeps track of that stuff.
Yeah, man.
Let's check it on the air.
What do I look like, Kasey?
Listen, sometimes I can't tell on the Venmo. I get Steph tutors a lot, so there's a lot that comes through the Venmo.
November 5th, TV's Brent Martineau, $40 for cards.
Oh, wow. I didn't even see it come in.
You're just bathing in that Venmo money.
Well, like I said, that's Steph's thing. So, all right. Well, I appreciate it. There you go. I can't say that. Now, Casey, you on the other hand.
What do you, Doug? You owe me fantasy football money still.
$5 still.
No, good thing you brought up that bet with interest now, dude. That thing's up in the $2 bills, man.
What do I owe you fantasy football money for?
Are you not in the league?
I feel like Casey's just going to invent a couple of debts you have, and you got too much money coming in and coming out. You have no idea what you owe anybody.
We never gave you fantasy for that 5-year fantasy football. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, the dynasty, the team that you drafted Kyle Pitts in the first round. You owe me money, lots of it.
Not lots of it.
First round for Kyle Pitts, huh?
Yeah, it was a tough day for him.
Oof. Wow. You haven't really reminded me of that. You should. Do we have 5 years to pay it?
No, I actually need it right now because somebody's about to win the championship. So let's get that money over
Somebody's
here.
about to already win?
Well, the week 1 of the playoffs is done, by the way. I'm beating the number 1 seed. No big deal.
That's the one thing about fantasy, man.
Ty's the GM, and I'm about to fire him like John Robinson.
You should, because Ty's had a rough go of it this year.
You know how, Brent, how kids kind of speed up your life a little bit? Time kind of moves faster once you have kids. That's what it is with fantasy football on a football season, too. Because the playoffs start like week 14, week 13, week 14, some leagues, week 15. And it's like suddenly the year is over. And you're like, but wait a second. We just started the last quarter of the season. Nope. Done.
See, I don't like the traditional fantasy football. I think you should have like a second league that starts like at the halfway point. So then you can kind of, after you've paid attention and not had to do all the homework throughout the summer where it comes at you fast, well, then you can now have some knowledge and then you draft.
Well, it's like a second chance draft,
yeah. I'm never ready to draft in a fantasy football thing. And so, that's how you just do it and hit
That's
and hope.
That's a you thing.
Yeah, I like that your answer to your lack of preparedness is to change the rules for everybody else.
Yes.
No, but that's why we're here at Davoli's House of Cards, and we like what Mark's doing. Fantasy card breaks. I don't have to draft a team.
That's true.
I just got to pay to get in.
Fate drafts it for you.
Well, maybe we should figure out how to figure some other stuff out, like some Houston Astros type stuff, because we are getting wrecked in the fantasy card breaks. We keep losing.
Yeah, well, we'll be okay. But the bottom line is I get to draft each and every Tuesday right here on Fantasy Card Breaks. So come on down to Davoli's House of Cards.
I just figured out?
What's that?
We never hear about how we do at the fantasy card breaks. We've definitely won at least twice, and Brent just hasn't said anything. So, like, Brent's, like, way up in the card money, and we're just like, hey, all right, good. He just has us thinking that we're horrible. Turns out the boys are back-to-back champs.
Well, Mark just said it's probably when you picked the team the one time, and I didn't want to give you credit. That was probably it. Because then I'd never hear the end of it.
That's true.
So that is not the case. But fantasy card break's a lot of fun. We'll see what we pick today. I'll let you guys know. Maybe. Maybe. I'll let you know how we do. Hey, Aaron, do you want to celebrate Mercedes Lewis? Like, via our group text? Like, I feel like you're a big fan of Mercedes
Here's
Lewis.
what happened. Yesterday, I saw a tweet from Mercedes Lewis that if we get to tweets today, we can get a little more in depth with the actual tweet. But the language he used sound very "I'm retiring soon, guys" kind of language.
Let's hope so. He's like 45 now, I think.
37. That's right. In football years, that's a good 74 though. So, but here's Mercedes Lewis on the Packers, and what I asked our group chat, I'll pose the question to the audience as well. What do you think is happening at the end of Mercedes' career? Is he going to sign that one-day contract, retire a Jaguar, enter the pride of the Jags at some point, or are we never going to hear from Mercedes again? Because it's not like he was this undeniable offensive weapon while here. He wasn't a 10-catch guy a game. He wasn't 100 yards a game or 2 touchdowns a game. But he was a solid player and an even more solid individual in that locker room. I mean, widely regarded by everyone he plays with as a leader in that locker room. He was basically what's the word? Not a stalwart, but basically a fixture here for 12 seasons. Almost never injured.
You know what's crazy? I said this to you. I was like, I feel like he's been in Green Bay almost as long as he was in Jacksonville now. Now, in my tenure, it's almost true, right?
Yeah.
I've been here since 2008, and so that would be, 15. This is, I think, season 15 for me. So he's been, well, it's still only 5 and 10. It feels like it's like half and half by now.
Pandemic will do that to you.
The Mercedes Lewis, terrific. I think he is a Jag. I really do. I think he's really enjoyed his time in Green Bay, and Aaron Rodgers loves him. And so that's kind of helped balloon his stock again, playing in Green Bay, playing with Aaron Rodgers, playing on the winning teams. It's not like he's making catches, but everybody raves about what he still can do, especially from a blocking standpoint. Mm-hmm. And then he gets his occasional catch as well. So, and is now what you start to creep into is like longevity in the National Football League is a treasured thing. When you play 17 years in the NFL,
it's close.
I mean, wow, man, especially that guy who's been blocking people for all that time. Like, yeah, he caught some passes, more passes early in his career, but he's played the physical side of the football game, you know? And so to do that for 17 years and up in Green Bay for a handful now, and he really had a nice career in Jacksonville. So I think to answer your question, he'll be celebrated in Jacksonville. He's not going to the pride of the Jaguars.
You don't think so?
No.
A couple of numbers before you make that statement. I just want to make sure we're on the same page here. So all-time receptions on the team, or I should say receiving yards, he's third behind Jimmy Smith and Keenan McCardle.
That's crazy.
All-time touchdowns on the team, he's second behind Jimmy Smith.
In receiving or receiving?
Receiving touchdowns, yeah. He's got 30-ish. I'm going to look that up again. And then as far as games played at tight end, Kyle Brady's in second place, but behind him by 50 games, like multiple seasons. So the longevity on the team, the no injury history, 16, 16, 15, 16, 15, 16. Like he was definitely durable. He was there all the time. He was a leader in the locker room. I actually think they might put him in the pride. Made the Pro Bowl one year. Go ahead. Tell me as a replacement.
No, he had a very good year that year.
He did.
Yeah, he had a bunch of touchdowns.
58 receptions, 700 yards, 10 touchdowns. Great year, 2010.
Yeah, I think that was the year. I think that Dallas game was big. I think he might have had 3 touchdowns with David Garrard throwing 4 of them. I think 3 of them went to Mercedes. Listen, Mercedes is a great Jag. He really is. But I don't know. I don't think of him in that context, and maybe that's shame on me.
No. I think you're not alone. I think when you think of big offensive playmakers for this team, Mercedes' name does not come up, right? And then obviously he's not a running back. So when you think of guys like Fred and like Maurice and even guys like Greg Jones and James when he had his big seasons, like, again, you're not thinking guys like Mercedes. He's not a big defensive name. So where does he fit in our memories? It's kind of rough. There's not like a real easy fit that gives him the credit that I think he kind of earned with this franchise.
So he's first in games played.
170, I think, right?
He's second.
That's a lot of games.
Yeah, second in receiving touchdowns.
Yes.
What number is that? 30, 33?
And what else did you say? No, third in receiving yards.
Third in receiving yards behind Smith and McCardle,
Yes.
which was shocking to me, by the way.
Yeah, that does surprise.
Because this is a guy that was like 4 for 45. He wasn't like 6 for 80.
Yeah, but if you're 4 for 45 for 12 years,
yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of
16 games a year.
A lot of 4 for 45.
That's right.
I mean, that is pretty impressive. That is pretty impressive. Like, I don't think it is, by the way. I don't think he's going the pride of the Jags.
Okay.
I'm a big Brad Meester fan. He's like Mr. Jaguar because of games played. Like, I would like to see Meester in the pride.
You know, it's funny you say that. I was talking to Kasey about this recently. I gave him the quiz. I hadn't given you the quiz, not to put you on the spot. But, you know, we were talking the other day about a metric that Pro Football Reference keeps called AV.
Oh, yeah. It's like WAR, you said.
Yes. And so what Pro Football Reference does for all of these team pages is it'll tell you who has the highest AV in the history of the franchise you're looking at.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
And I kind of love this because, you know, it kind of gives you an idea of, you know, who were the most important guys on the team outside of the names you normally come to think of. And so when I think Jaguars, number one on this list is Jimmy Smith, and his AV is at 118, tops the list. Number 2 is Fred Taylor. We're still in the same, like, no surprises here, right? 106 AV. Number 3, Mark Brunell. I'm still not shocked.
Nope.
But once we get to number 4, I'm expecting maybe to see a Tony Baselli, even a Mojo. You might even talk me into like a John Henderson. Brad Meester at number 4, 103 AV.
Wow.
Brad Meester, number 4 all-time Jaguar based on AV. That's great.
Which is a great stat.
That is a great stat. Like, that would be a hard – and I heard you guys guessing this. I walked in on the conversation. So just go down – like, 5th is Maurice Jones-Drew, right?
Mojo, then Baselli. Then you get Henderson. Then David Garrard. Rasheen, our guy, at number 9 with a 68 AV. And then you start getting into some of these interchangeable names. Good Jaguars, but we've seen other good guys not as high, like a Darryl Smith, Keenan McCardle, and Marcus Stroud.
Where's Mercedes?
Not in the top
Mercedes
12.
So I'm looking that up right now. His AV is 44. And what I love about like Pro Football Reference and what they do there is they give you players like when it says compare, and it gives you like comparable players. Another player with an AV of 44 is Kyle Rudolph. And I think of Kyle Rudolph, Pro Bowl a couple of times, made some plays in Minnesota.
Really
Not great to the point, but good player when he was in his prime. Mercedes, you can say the same, but I don't think the Vikings are putting him up in the ring of Vikings.
But the Vikings also have a long storied
Correct.
franchise.
Correct. I get that.
And are you going to give the Mercedes quote later?
Yes, in the tweets, unless you want it now, I can give it to you now.
No, that's fine. We'll do it a little bit later when we do some tweets, but we'll revisit just for a moment. But it does kind of indicate that he could be. I mean, listen, 17 years indicates that he could be done any season, right?
Yeah,
that's a long time.
But it's an interesting conversation all the time, and some people are very protective of this conversation in Jags history. I'm not as protective of it. Like, I understand there are players where it's relative to the rest of the NFL, like Baselli, just went in the Hall of Fame. He's one of the great tackles of all time, and nobody would debate it. And so, obviously, he should belong in the pride. Mark Brunell, there was some conversation about Brunell. Like, nobody's ever putting Brunell in the historic discussion of great QBs of all time in the NFL. But here he's the best one.
Ever.
And so I have no problem with Mark Brunell being in the pride of the Jaguars. And so
what about in 50 years, though? What about in 50 years when you have 3 other quarterbacks you want to throw
I
in
hope
there?
we do. But it's taken another 20 to get anyone.
That's true.
Yeah, we don't got any right
That's
now.
a really good
Not
point.
even one.
I mean,
we're on pace
it's
for
taken
2 in
another
100
20
years.
to get anyone even on like the Dreamfinder's home flag. Forget about the pride of the Jaguars.
And they'd be taking them things down quick. Boy, you get traded, they peel that thing down, you're down a layer.
By
It's
the way,
ironed on.
Yeah, if you're on that thing, you're usually getting shipped out of town.
They're up there stitching James Robinson. Wait.
Quick, change the number.
Wait a minute.
So I guess in the landscape of this conversation, like Mercedes Lewis, if he is first in games played, he's second in touchdowns, third in all-time receiving. That's out of receivers and running backs. And you know what? For this team, for this franchise, Mercedes Lewis should at least be thought about.
Yeah.
in the context of it.
I agree.
And I don't think it should be like this. So what? I go to Denver, and Denver has guys I've never heard of up there in their ring.
That's what I'm
saying. But you know what? They're
like,
littered around the entire stadium, and it's like, wow, that's cool. Like, that's a nice history, right?
Yes.
Or it's the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, one of the two.
Like, if you're not going to write your own franchise's story, who is?
Well, that's a good point. That's
and we're
a very
not
good way to say it.
We're not debating whether Mercedes belongs in the Hall. I'm talking to the chat because you got a couple of guys in the chat who are like, what are you talking about, the stats?
Get him, Aaron.
For me, this has nothing to do with the stats. For me, it has to do with the fact that over multiple regimes, Mercedes was essentially your player coach in the locker room. He was your guy on this franchise. It was going to be teal and black and Mercedes, and that's what you knew you were going into a season with. I just find it hard to turn your back on a guy like that who loved this city.
I say we start the campaign. We get T-shirts, we get hats. Forget the Brent Friends beanies. We get Mercedes to the Pride beanies. Let's do it.
I mean, I know Mark Long would be happy about that, and he'd be on our team. It's his favorite. I think guys like, I really do believe Meester is an interesting one. Like, how do you judge stats of a center? But he is Mr. Jaguar in terms of games played.
Yeah.
Like, I will someday advocate in a biased way, I understand, but like, how does this organization recognize what Calais Campbell did even in a very short time? I don't know, but I'd want to claim Calais Campbell as mine if I'm the Giants organization.
Yeah, if for no other reason than it's a good person to have on your team, like on your theoretical
but
team.
Unbelievable statistically, though.
Well, see,
but
that's
more than that.
Yeah.
I mean, it went past the statistics with Calais. Go ahead, Case.
Well, a lot of guys, it goes past statistics.
I was going to say, even with the short time in Jacksonville, I think, like, the awards that he won, I think you could make the case for pride as easy there. Like, I don't know what you're saying there, because I think you said you have to recognize him for something. I think it's an easy case to make to put him in the pride.
Well,
I don't think it takes much.
The other thing, I mean, I don't know where you draw the line because, okay, where does Posluszny come in? Where does other guy? You know what I mean? So I understand. There's good debate stuff. The one thing about the other part of this equation is for the Jags, like, they shouldn't have let him go. I mean, it actually made some sense. He was going to be 34 after that 2017 season, right? And nobody expects anybody to keep playing at 38 years old, and especially playing and having some pretty good years. And to be honest with you, he only started 4 games in 2018 right after he left the Jags. Now, since then, he's started like every game. But I don't know if the Jags made a major mistake in letting him go. And by the way, I always feel good for guys like Mercedes because he went to Green Bay and had experience winning. Like, he would have been through some awful times in Jacksonville over these last couple of years, and he already lived through a bunch of awful times in Jacksonville. One thing I'll never forget about Mercedes, 2 things really, and a lot of it has to do with the 2017 season. That team, what people forget about 2017, again, it will come out in our Saxonville documentary in 2037. But
right after the shoulder pads story.
Yeah, is that aired yet?
Shoulder pad story's coming this weekend.
You got another 3 weeks. They're waiting on sweeps.
Oh, my God. I'm trying to see the story.
But there was almost a mutiny in that locker room after training camp.
Yeah.
And Mercedes Lewis was a big reason. He was like, what are we doing? We got no juice. Like, they had looked so bad in a preseason game. He's like, we have been worked to the bone so hard in these last few weeks that we can't even play a game. In the 3rd preseason game, we just look awful. And so that's when they started to relax a little bit and then start, turning toward the season. But that's how mad that team was, and Mercedes was vocal about it. The other thing that I really remember, the play that doesn't get talked about enough, in my opinion, in the AFC Championship game was the delay a game call. And now I forget exactly where it was, but I think it was like in the 3rd quarter. But it was a delay a game on Bortles. He had just hit Mercedes Lewis for a first down. It was a nice throw, nice catch. And they were in Patriots territory. And it might have been right before the half when they were going to go score again or something, before they didn't try to score when they got the ball back.
Second quarter, 2:23 left to go.
Wow.
Dang.
So what happened?
So Bortles pass complete short right, Mercedes Lewis for 12 yards. Penalty on Bortles, delay of game.
Yeah, and I think it was so ticky-tack on the delay of game, And so then they end up having to punt it away, right?
Yeah.
And then did the Patriots score?
Bortles was sacked, and then they punted, yeah.
Yeah, so did the Patriots score at all? or did they just stop him?
On the
They
next
stopped him.
possession, they scored a touchdown with James White.
At the end of the half.
Yes, before halftime.
Oh, see,
White scores with a minute left to go.
Okay, so that was as big as I thought it was. Yeah, like that was a huge play. That everybody talks about Miles Jack and the 3rd and 17. That play was massive. They would have kept driving the ball, at the very least probably kicked a field goal, run out the half. And instead, they have to punt it away, touchdown, and then the whole thing about sitting on the ball at the end of the half transpired.
55 seconds left. They're kneeling on the ball.
Yeah. So I always remember that sequence. Of course, I didn't remember exactly where it was, but I knew it was a big
Aaron
deal
remembered.
that nobody talked about. That was good looking up by you.
Yeah, so little fingers did the work, Kasey. Okay.
So yeah, it's those are the things I mean. Now listen, there's a lot of Mercedes Lewis memories, but I remember the bookends of that season. One where he was kind of leading the charge, where it was about to be a mutiny. If they didn't beat Houston, that thing could have got really ugly in the opener. We're like, okay, that made it worth it. Like everybody settled down after that. And then on the back end, that AFC, he might have had, that would have been a huge play in that game. And I think it was a pretty nice catch and nice throw, if I remember it correctly, in late in the first half. So we'll talk more about Mercedes Lewis and some tweets coming up in just a little bit. Right now, let's get South Beach Gary on ESPN 690 before we hit a break. What's up?
Hey, guys, pretty quick MLB quick things, please. First of all, Brent, you scoffed at me when I asked you about Brandon Hyde. Well, Baseball America named him Manager of the Year this week, so it wasn't such a crazy question for me. The other two things, what do you guys think about the Yankee fans? They're up in arms about the Brian Cashman re-signing, and what do you think of the possibility that Aaron Judge signs with the Giants this week? And I'll hang up and listen. Thanks.
All right, thanks. Help me out a little bit. I don't know if I could hear his phone as well as.
Let me help you, Brent. He said, he said Aaron Judge to the Giants. What do you think the possibility is?
I think it's very good. Yeah, I think it's very good. I think they're going to try like heck to recruit him back to New York too. I think it's been. I think a lot of thought is it's between the Giants and the Yankees, and the Yankees are going to go hardcore now. They're going to make all the effort as well, and. But I wouldn't be surprised to see him go. I think it's really close. I think everything you hear and see is probably right on the money. I think the Yankees have a lot of doubt and curiosity whether they can pull this thing off. I was a little surprised to see the extension of length, but I guess extensions of length don't matter anymore.
No, those contracts
right?
never run the.
I mean, just
length.
because he signed a 4-year extension, he could be gone next year. That's not going to matter. But I'm a little surprised at the whole thing that they didn't rip it up. Because, honestly, the Yankees are either going to run it back the way they were or they're going to be worse than they were.
Yes.
And there's not a lot of fixing it.
No.
So I'm a little surprised. Now, here's the other part of that. You let it run its course a little bit, and then when you feel like it's time that you can fix it, you bring in somebody else. Like, that could happen. But I was a little surprised with Boone and Cashman, which hopefully I think is a good thing for our guy, Travis Chapman, here from Jacksonville, will be the first base coach again, I hope.
And then the first part of that was South Beach Gary was trying to call you an idiot for laughing at Brandon Hyde being AL Manager of the Year, but he didn't win, so I'm not really sure what we're talking about. Terry Francona won.
Hey, before we run off to
got
break,
second.
No, Hyde was. I think what he probably saw was like Baseball America Coach of the Year. That is a different one, but I think like a publication named him Coach of the Year. I saw that on Twitter. Maybe that's what he was talking about.
Well, we should give out Coach of the Year awards then. We're a publication. I mean, the real one's Terry Francona. I don't know what
we could do that.
Before we went off to break, I want to hit you with some breaking news. Baker Mayfield, the newest member of the Los Angeles Rams.
Yes, I saw that. How about so somebody said when he was released, they were like, he will be claimed. And I was trying to think of what team was going to claim him. Did you guys think the Rams would be the team to claim him?
Rams or Niners, yeah.
I didn't think the Niners would claim him.
You didn't think so? They're going to run it with Purdy.
We talked about it yesterday. I think you're really the chemistry part of that is way at risk. And honestly, I don't know if he's that good of a quarterback to risk the chemistry part.
I think Baker Mayfield is a starting quarterback in this league. And I also think when you pick up a guy off of waivers, you don't necessarily have to commit to him for 5 years. It would have been just as easy to throw him on there and see if it rubbed anyone the wrong way in practice and rolled with it.
Yeah, you could do that. But I'm telling you, especially this late in the season, when you've won 5 games in a row, teams are very hesitant.
That's fair. But I wonder how many games in a row they're going to win now without Jimmy G.
We'll see.
Also, I just want to throw out there that I just saw something that the Rams are hoping he can start on Thursday night.
Well, I think a little bit of it is that, right? Because Johnny Wolford's banged up.
They don't have anybody to play.
Yeah, Wolford from Jacksonville played this past week, and he got hammered. I think,
job interview.
Weber was telling me that he got like 9 QB hits and 4 sacks, and I think they projected they wouldn't even have been able to practice yesterday if they actually did ever practice.
Could you imagine the job interview?
They're like, we don't really care if you're good. Just can you play?
Baker
on
walks
Thursday?
in, chugging a beer. They're like, "Are you breathing?" Cool.
Like, we need someone to play Thursday night. Like, we don't have anybody healthy. We don't really care if we win.
Do
we
you
just want to
mind
field
getting
the team.
hit 17 times in a game? Oh, that happened to you for the last couple of seasons? No big deal. Come on down.
You don't even need to know the playbook. Just cover up when you're getting sacked.
Run for your life. That's the only play we call here.
Here's another big medical story, by the way. You see this story that kind of came out late last night, I think it was. Jimmy Garoppolo, it's not a Liz Frank injury, so he does not need foot surgery.
Yeah, they were just talking about that on NFL Live, but it still said 7 to 8 weeks.
7 to 8 weeks.
Is it like a strain?
That's a timeline that could put him back in the mix late in the playoffs.
Do you do that if the Niners make the playoffs on a roll? Or are you going to then put Jimmy G in? That makes no sense to me.
You ride with Brock Purdy, baby.
Oh, gross.
So you're okay. You're okay bringing Baker Mayfield in when the Niners are on a roll, but you're not okay with Jimmy G coming back.
Yes, because the
in.
roll is in Week 12, not in Week 3 of the playoffs.
Yeah, we got to take a break. We're live at the Holy's House of Cards. Brent Friends on ESPN 690. We'll be right back.
Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the 2022 World Soccer Championship in Qatar, sponsored by Prevagen. The quarterfinals are officially set. Advancing out of the knockouts for the first time since 2006, Portugal dominated Switzerland today 6-1. Starting in place of superstar Cristiano Ronaldo, Gonzalo Ramos rose to the occasion and scored a hat-trick for Portugal, which also got goals from Pepe, Rafael Guerreiro, and Rafael Leao. The big storyline here, Ronaldo did not start after the fallout with his head coach following Friday's match against South Korea. He entered the match with his team leading by 4 goals in the 73rd minute. With the win, Portugal moves on to face Morocco in the last 8. In a stunning upset in Doha today, Morocco shocked Spain 3-0 on penalties to advance to the last 8 for the first time in the country's history. Achraf Hakimi booted the deciding goal. Spain failed to convert on 3 of its penalty kicks. I'm Erica Herskowitz, Westwood One Sports.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Every day, I bet your floors have shoe grime and pet grime and invisible grime.
Invisible grime?
Yep, the kind of grime that you only notice when you look at your socks.
Ew.
So get Swiffer Sweeper Wet, the cleaning power of a mop with the convenience of a wipe. Sweeper heavy-duty wet pads come prepped with a cleaning solution that traps and locks dirt and grime deep inside the pad, even dirt and grime you can't see, for the clean floors you want, anytime you want it. Swiffer Sweeper heavy-duty wet pads.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Some areas of patchy fog this morning, but we'll be replacing that with abundant sunshine by mid to late morning and temperatures rising into the middle and upper 70s today. Mostly clear skies tonight with a couple areas of patchy fog yet again, and even warmer temperatures on the way for Wednesday, all while staying nice and dry. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Trevor Gibbs.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Right now, get 42% off everything in the store. Don't buy until you get our price.
Buying or leasing a car in Jacksonville is the best with Fields Auto Group, Jacksonville's luxury auto group. Lexus of Jacksonville and Orange Park, Mercedes-Benz of Jacksonville, Orange Park, Jaguar Land Rover, Jacksonville, Porsche, Jacksonville, Fields Cadillac, Jacksonville, and St. Augustine. If the luxury car you want isn't in stock, Fields Auto Group will order it. And at Fields, you'll never be charged over sticker price. Stop by a Fields store today and see what world-class service really means. Fields is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Fields Auto Group, fieldsauto.com.
Attention Dish customers. Dish Network pulled WFOX Fox 30 off the air, depriving you of your favorite programming. That means no sports, local news, weather, traffic, or the shows you love. Call Dish now at 1-800-333-3474 and tell them to put WFOX Fox 30 back on the air.
Today on Hey Culligan,
Culligan, reverse to reduce. Here's Bob.
Hey, Culligan, I love fresh water, but I got plastic bottles coming out.
Whoa, Bob, you are not kidding about the bottles. But did you know Culligan's reverse osmosis and always-on drinking water systems provide fresh, clean, delicious drinking water and help reduce the equivalent of over 15 billion plastic bottles from landfills worldwide?
Holy, fresh, environmentally friendly drinking water. Am I right?
Right, Bob. And we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. Well, it still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or just go to eBay Motors and get it right the first time. With over 122 million parts, they have the parts that fit your vehicle. Air filters, tires, headlights, brakes, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride.
Hello, you have reached the Crooks Arrest Training Center tip line,
where we give expert advice for crooks.
You may have recently heard that SafeTouch Security is running an insane special for business owners. A 2-for-1 deal on 24/7 perimeter guard cameras.
Yeah, these cameras are game changers.
Correct. They are compatible with a SafeTouch system, a different system, or no system at all, giving business owners a lot of flexibility.
Plus, SafeTouch offers free installation, free storage, and a lifetime warranty, all for less than $1 a day.
So, don't be surprised when you see more and more SafeTouch signs at businesses.
And if you're a crook, be afraid. Be very afraid.
Only one security system is truly the best. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of SafeTouch Security Systems. Nobody beats SafeTouch.
Buy one, get one free cameras are limited and going fast. Beat the holiday rush. Call 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
If you're the victim of a car crash, never rush to settle with the insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anna Jar Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Main office, Jacksonville.
It's where I take my family to play golf, and you can take yours as well. The Golf Club at Southampton. It's the home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18, and it can be your golf destination. Enjoy your golf experience by calling 287-PLAY, 287-PLAY. Play some golf or maybe practice some golf at one of the newest facilities in the area. Grab some lunch or dinner, too. Southampton has it all. 287-PLAY for tee times and more. The Golf Club at Southampton, the home of the Dream 18. My home course. Make it your home course, too.
Forever Vets Pet Resort at Durban is officially open. Whether you're looking to board your pet during a vacation or looking for a place for them to play during the day, look no further. Forever Vets Pet Resort has officially opened its doors. With roomy, climate-controlled indoor play areas for big and small dogs, shaded outdoor play areas with a splash zone, and private cat condos including access to a cat tree-filled oasis, your pet will feel right at home. Forever Vets Pet Resort will provide a comfortable place for your pets while you're away and ensure your four-legged friend is safe and happy during their stay. Take advantage of a free day of play to all new clients. And if you purchase one night of boarding, you'll receive half off your next night. Want to learn more? Give us a call or go to forevervets.com. You can also stop by for a free facility tour. We're open 7 days a week with extended hours for your convenience. Forever Vets Pet Resort at Durban is now open for reservations.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jacks on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
Hey, we are back from Tivoli's House of Cards, St. Johns County. Come on out and say hello each and every Tuesday here until 6 o'clock. Been busy in here on this Tuesday afternoon. Fantasy card break, something you can get into next few weeks of the NFL season. We've had a blast with that all year long. Basically, you get in with a purchase of a pack of cards, open them up, set your team, QB, running back, wide receiver, tight end, couple flex players, and boom, you're in the game.
So whoever you get in the pack is who your roster is?
It.
And if you don't get a wide receiver in that pack, you just don't have a wide receiver that week?
Well, there's been some new rules and adjustments to that, so you won't be left empty-handed.
I like that.
This is evolved.
How is it evolved?
It's an evolution.
Lose.
What's the
we
new
still
rule?
lose. We've actually felt very good, I would say, a lot of times about our team. Like, I actually feel like I'm a little like Doug Peterson. Like, I think I've picked a team that should win more often than it has. That's it, huh?
That's it.
Really stunted us.
That is it.
we were soaking that one in.
Yeah. Take
We
it all
have
in.
had some,
There's
like,
a lot
good-
to that now. Like, Doug Peterson should have more than 4 wins,
Yes.
was my point.
And we
So
have had
should
some
we.
good rosters, but that's not how fantasy works sometimes.
I think sometimes it just comes down to the coaching. You know,
Sometimes it does. Hey, so here's the other thing we got going on. We got the Brent Friends beanies out. Those are part of our 12 Days of Christmas giveaway. That's
third
coming
time
up.
he's put the beanie on
We
his
start
hat.
on Thursday.
Head,
Well,
folks.
the people wanted that. You told me.
Well, they want
They
the
said it's
hat.
fire.
They don't want to look at you looking silly.
If you're on the radio, that is 3 times. Brent has put the beanie on his already existing hat and over his headset. It's a pretty good sight. Go back and check out the YouTube video. It's about this moment in the video.
I do
This could be a new way to do this, guys. Like, we could come up with an invention where you throw it's a stocking cap, normal cap duo.
Yeah, that would really defeat the purpose of the stocking cap, though.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it? Because you don't
You
cover
don't
the
ever
ears.
wear, like, you haven't been out, like, in the cold where you wear a ball cap and then a stocking cap over it to cover your ears?
I've done it. On a
Heck yeah.
sunny, cold day, yeah, sure.
I
And
have
then you
not
take
done
it
it.
off and you've got a hat on still? Absolutely. Do it all the
I
time.
actually just went to a place where it was freezing, and I just went with the stocking cap, actually.
You could do that.
And then I took it off, and my hair was a mess, and I said, I don't care what you people think. I'm taking it off.
So here's the deal. We've got part of our 12 Days of Christmas. We've got the growing list.
We got
of
so
things.
much stuff. Yeah,
We've
yeah.
got FSU basketball tickets to give away.
Hey-o.
We've got $25 Bono's gift cards to give away.
I literally had Bono's for lunch on Monday. What was that, yesterday?
Oh, thanks for going.
Today,
with that
Wednesday or Tuesday?
Tuesday.
I
We
had
got-
Bono's. Yeah, I had turkey. I had the corn nuggets. It was delicious.
nuggets.
Give me
Gotta get the
anything?
corn nuggets
I got
ready.
you nothing, man. I'm sorry.
We got.
Did you
some-
use a gift card? Did Brent give you the gift cards?
I
Because I
haven't
never got
given
any gift
anybody.
cards.
Did not use
Okay.
a gift card.
All right.
No.
Paid
I
the
just
man.
got a new batch, and now we're giving them away for Christmas.
What happened to the first batch? Okay.
That
Went to the Mark New family.
No, that went to like a Cox Media Group party.
Great.
Send the FBI after
Remember?
What else do we have? Let's
Remember?
move on.
8 Zaxby's cards that we're going to give away. A Zaxby card is kind of a cool deal. It's like a buy one, get one meal.
That's
this
cool.
will be perfect for you lunch buddies.
A little tongue torch. I can get down with some tongue torch.
Tongue torch is gas.
We got 12 Dream 18 cards we're going to give away.
That's a
One
hot
each day.
item this year, man.
It is. And by the way, I want you to buy them. So go to ActionSportsShackDream18.com.
And I want you to
$69.
win them.
But we'll give you a chance to win them before you can buy them. Isn't that the ticket giveaway, 96.9 The Eagle guy?
Yep.
Win them before you can buy them.
Win them before
You're
you
not
can
getting
buy
any of
them.
these prizes on 96.9 The Eagle. Only ESPN 690, baby.
Yar, if I
And
sneak them out of the room.
Yeah, well, that's true. Keep an eye on this stuff, Kasey.
I got us.
And,
Where are they?
and some more things. I've got, how about a Paul Puzzlesny signed photo, and a Tony Baselli signed photo, and a Josh Allen signed photo, and a Charlie Ward signed photo, and a Peter Warwick signed photo, plus UNF Osprey tickets. So all of that stuff coming up that we're giving away over the 12 Days of Christmas starts Thursday. There you go. So just be listening. And thank you from us. Like, you don't even have to really do anything. We're just going to give some prize packs away.
I was going to give away a $20 gift certificate to somebody in the chat until they told me they don't do the donkey. I was like, then forget you, bud.
You just lost out.
Forever. Dead to me.
Maybe I'll win him over on my side of the ledger by giving him a hat.
We're trying to recruit listeners to one person at a time. I like it.
I got some people not too happy with me on Twitter.
Good.
So that's good.
Good.
I kind of like it when people aren't
I
happy.
think you do, too. You know, you're not a trolly person. You're actually a really nice guy.
No, he's not.
But I do see like the essence, the flavor, the notes of trolliness whenever someone yells at you on Twitter. You kind of get a little tail wag going.
Yeah, I don't mind.
He doesn't know what that means. He doesn't like dogs.
I like to mix it up a little bit. Yeah, I'm fine. Like I like conversation. Some people just get attack mode.
Oh, they go over the top on you, huh?
Yeah, that's okay.
Do you remember any of the mean things? I'd love to hear some of the mean things they say about you.
I mean, just follow along. Happens on a daily basis.
Turn on notifications.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Hey, I said this today, and this got people riled up.
Oh, boy.
Like, why is Stetson Bennett's age a big deal? Do
I
you
don't
guys
get this
think
either.
It's a big deal?
Like, it's not like we're talking about Chris Winkie here. The kid's 25 years old.
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, the Winkie story was a good one when he was that old, I thought. Like, it was like, hey, that's kind of cool, like the old guy.
But at least you get it being a topic, right?
Yeah, I understand. I guess I understand the topic, but you're right. Like, Stetson Bennett just turned 25 last month. Well, late October, right before the Georgia-Florida game. So he's really started the year where he was 24 years old. Do you know how many college athletes are playing right now that are 24 years old?
I mean, not many.
No, a lot.
Do you have the number?
No, but a lot.
Oh.
No, a lot, seriously, because of COVID. Like, we have guys all over college campuses that are 24 years old.
That is a good point. The COVID year kind of has delayed now you're seeing guys stay 5, 6. One guy we're talking about 7 years.
I mean, Brent, you know the answer to this, but UNF, they have guys that feel like have been there forever. How old are, like, Hendrickson and those guys? Are they up there?
Hendrickson, that's a good question. Like, Carter Hendrickson might be, like, 23, 20. I mean, there's a lot that are 23, and I know most people reside between the ages of 18 and 22, but there's a couple of different things at work here. The COVID year is a lot of people stay back now, right, in the high school or early on, or parents keep their kids back before they even go to first grade, and so that sets it in motion where you're 19 when you're graduating high school. And so now you're going to 19, 20, 21, 22 at the very least, sometimes turning 23 while you're senior year of college anyway. You get redshirted, you're 24. You get a COVID year, you're 25.
Yeah,
like,
I don't see the big deal.
That's not that abnormal right now. And so this is the other thing that I get the whole concept of you saying, well, the guy's 20 whatever years old and he's playing against kids. Like, yeah, but if you look at Stetson Bennett, do you look at him as this man-child?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's not built like Brock Lesnar, guys.
Yes, he's not LeBron James still in college.
Yeah.
You know, that's the other thing. Like, I thought about this, and because people were coming back with some pretty good points, I'm like, all right, how do I really feel?
How do I really make these people mad?
No. How do I really feel about the older guy playing? Like, what advantages are there? Like, what is the advantage? You're older. You're wiser. Well, in Stetson Bennett's case, he's a $170 soaking wet. Like, he has no athletic advantage over any kid that's 19, 20, 21, 22 coming in. That's why they didn't never want him to play. He's basically like a walk-on guy. Yeah. So he doesn't have like this big arm. He doesn't run faster than everybody. He can move. He can throw, but he doesn't have any like off the charts, top 5% skill set in college football. So now he gets to use age as a weapon for him. So what? Let him use something to his advantage finally.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. 25 is not a big disadvantage. It's just silly.
Yeah.
It's days at that point. You're not talking about years. You're not talking about a significant advantage. He's less than a year removed from his frontal cortex being fully formed. Enough already.
What the heck does that even mean?
It means your brain is still developing through your 24th year of life. So You want to compare a 21-year-old and a 23-year-old. Their bodies aren't going to be that much different. Their brains aren't going to be that much different. Now you're talking about a 30-year-old. You might have a different story there.
I think what's funny, this was in the Heisman conversation, by the way. This is because he was a finalist. And so people are saying, well, should you cap the age at some point in college? I don't know. Like, if you cap the age, do you have the stories where we've seen it? Like, guys come back as they're like 30 years old and try to get on a team because maybe they served in the military.
There should be no cap.
Right?
I agree, no cap.
If you can do it, I mean, more power to you.
Yeah, it's about a collegiate athlete, not a collegiate athlete who didn't take time off, you know.
Yeah, I think there are various paths that you would exclude. Like, I really don't understand why we would set the parameter of age.
If you got eligibility, you got eligibility.
Got eligibility.
Yeah, like I have another year of eligibility, but I can't use it. Because
is that for real?
I'm pretty sure, because I thought the rule back then was you had 4 years of eligibility in a 5-year span.
Hear me out. As for marketing for the show, let's get you enrolled in a school. Let's get you playing ball. We'll get Dion's documentary cameras out there. We'll tell the team I'm coming. And we'll make it into a big thing, Brent. You're going to have the season of your life. It's going to be on ESPN, 30 for 30. I'm seeing it happen right in front of my eyes.
We're playing baseball, right?
Oh, never mind.
Hey, what if I could go back and use year of eligibility for e-game, e-sports?
Yeah, do e-sports, bro. Modern Warfare? Come on, Brent. We'll train you up.
That'd be awesome if you could do that. We'll be back. Brent and Friends on ESPN 690, live from Tivoli's House of Cards.
Right now, American Window Products is offering the newest features in window technology with ultra dual low E glass and insulated vinyl frames with magnet weather stripping on windows for an airtight seal to help reduce your energy usage, all at an affordable price. This exclusive offer is for a limited time, so act now to save big with 24-month zero-interest financing. Schedule a free estimate at AmericanWindowProducts.com. American Window Products, the window professionals.
Get in the game at Best Bet St. Augustine, the only card room and sports bar in St. Augustine, Florida. Best Bet St. Augustine is the place for poker, running daily cash games and weekly poker tournaments. Best Bet St. Augustine also features easy-to-play table games like one-card poker, three-card poker, and face-up Pi Gal. Enjoy the delicious daily specials and over 70 TVs at the sports bar. At Best Bet St. Augustine, there's something for everyone. Visit Best Bet St. Augustine at 800 Marketplace Drive.
Live it up like a VIP. Daly's Place Blue is a one-of-a-kind program for music fans who want the very best live music experiences. Get VIP seats, VIP parking, and VIP lounge access, all with your 2023 season tickets and Daly's Place Blue membership. Join us in style for this incredible upcoming season. Visit Daly'sPlace.com for more information or contact Daly's Place Premium Ticketing at 904-633-2000. That's 904-633-2000. Experience the VIP difference with Daly's Place Blue.
Attention, Dish customers. Dish Network pulled WFOX Fox 30 off the air, depriving you of your favorite programming. That means no sports, local news, weather, traffic, or the shows you love. Call Dish now at 1-800-333-3474 and tell them to put WFOX Fox 30 back on the air.
The wait is over because Toyotathon is on right now at Arlington Toyota. During Toyotathon at Arlington, you can get a new 2022 Tacoma TRD Sport 4x4 up to $1,900 off MSRP, 18 in stock to choose from. And at Arlington, every new Toyota comes with a lifetime warranty and 30 days to love your new purchase or exchange it. Don't wait. Toyotathon is on. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Toyotathon for full details.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7 with supplies and solutions for every industry and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. You know, changing your oil with a full synthetic oil like Pennzoil Platinum can help your engine get more miles. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for only $38.99. Get everything you need for better fuel efficiency at any of our 6,200 stores or on AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Paid for by GovMint.com.
Have you heard? A recent stash of 1904 Morgan silver dollar coins has been found. These gorgeous 1904 O silver dollar coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck. This is a key date for silver dollar collectors, and only a limited quantity are available. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone interested in silver coins. Just call Government at 1-800-563-6468, and you are guaranteed a mint condition 1904 O Morgan silver dollar featuring the iconic O mint mark of the New Orleans Mint, the final year of production. But with limited quantity, you must call now. These 1904 O silver coins are still in uncirculated condition. That is 117 years of history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-563-6468. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-563-6468 now to secure your 1904 O Morgan silver dollars before they sell out. That's 1-800-563-6468.
Hey, it's Brent Mortno from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690.
Hey, welcome back to Bully's House of Cards. Brent Mortno along with Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz here on a Tuesday afternoon on ESPN 690.
Tuesday.
We'll probably talk a lot more about the Titans coming up tomorrow. Do we just put the Jags down for a day?
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
Not much new news. I think we needed a little bit of a breather after the disappointment.
I kind of sense like everybody does. It's like, hey, put that down. I did have somebody ask me today, and I don't know if this is no inside information. I like to sometimes, we have a little bit of knowledge and you can kind of insinuate some stuff, so you got to balance that. I'm just being crystal clear here because this is an important topic. We haven't heard a thing other than what Doug Peterson told us. But I do think tomorrow is an interesting watch for Trevor Lawrence. The agents haven't leaked anything out. The big guys aren't getting anything reported. The Jags basically said Sunday night into Monday as well that things look pretty good. So I think all signs point to good. But what you don't know in an injury like this is how does he feel?
Yeah, if it's maybe there was some swelling after the fact or something, who knows?
Well, I'll give you the best example. I mean, just last week it was Zay Jones. Got hurt during that game, had a phenomenal game, a phenomenal finish against Baltimore, and then dealt with that chest injury all week to the point where I think it was very close that he was going to play or not. So what does that mean with Trevor? Is Trevor's practice tomorrow? I wouldn't be surprised. Again, I want to be clear here. No inside info because it's Tuesday. Nobody's getting information usually on a Tuesday. I just wouldn't be surprised to see him limited in practice tomorrow.
Yeah.
At the best.
It's kind of keeping fresh for the game. Yeah.
Will that raise red flags about him potentially playing? Or will they say enough when Trevor talks, usually he does on Wednesday, and Doug talks and he's like, hey, we're good. We're just going to be careful with him this week and also just make sure he's ready to go on Sunday.
It'll be interesting because the saying stuff at the press conferences helps with the fan base get realistic about it, but I don't think Vegas pays as much attention to it as we do when it comes to the press conferences. Vegas is going to look at that limited report, at least people, I shouldn't say Vegas, the people betting on the numbers in the houses, people betting, BetMGM and all these other places. They're going to look at the injury report, and they're going to look at the injury from last week, and they're going to go, oh, he may not play, and you'll see that line move a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would also say I'm not worried about Trevor. I know that how the injury could play out, something could have progressed. I get it. He went back in the game. So I'm not worried about it, even if he's limited or even if he doesn't practice. I'm be real with you, I'm not worried about it because it's still Wednesday. I am monitoring the Andre Cisco thing because, again, I'm not saying it all went wrong because Cisco wasn't out there, but holy crap, that was bad and he wasn't out there. So if he misses, I would, that's something I'm actually more interested and concerned about.
I watched Andre Cisco go out there and give it a go, and he didn't look super uncomfortable. I saw him talking to doctors as well when I was up there in Detroit. And when I saw him leave the field, we were just starting our pregame show, and I was like, I don't think this is good that he's walking off the field talking to the doctors in a slow walk. I didn't get a good feeling, and boom, sooner or later it came out as inactive. But it also gave me hope that he'll probably play this week. I think he was pretty close to playing last week.
I hope you're right.
But the Trevor one, I guess, so you guys are saying you have no doubt that Trevor's going to play.
Zero concern.
Zero.
Yeah, I don't know if I have 0. That's the thing. Like, I'm not sure. I really don't know. That was the injury and then the adrenaline to keep playing is a different animal in sports. Like, just because he ran later and he finished the game and all that stuff, how he felt Monday, I think is a pretty big factor here. And did some of the tests show anything? Will they be super cautious? I think we'll learn a lot more Wednesday, of course, and we'll see what he does from a practice standpoint. I'm not trying to alarm anybody. It hasn't been talked about. It's like, okay, he's good. I think we'll get a better indication on Wednesday if, okay, he's really good.
Meanwhile, is there another player on this roster where if you think they're injured, the entire city goes and then holds their breath till they hear otherwise?
Not really. I mean, ETN is like that. I mean, ETN feels that important.
As much as Trevor?
No.
Well, no, I'm not saying there was as big as Trevor. Absolutely not. Trevor, that's why I feel like we need to talk about it a little bit because it is a big story.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's a big story, whether what he does in practice, what they say, going towards Sunday. And I feel like we're already kind of dismissed it like, no problem, he's good.
When we have Clay Harbor on tomorrow at 4, Trevor won't even be on the injury report.
Whoa, hot take.
No inside information. I know absolutely nothing. You know that. I don't know nothing about nothing around here.
Casey, you want to put a bet on the board? We'll discuss a bet in the break.
Hey, when you compound a double negative with another negative, I think it makes it okay.
Okay. I didn't realize that was a rule now.
Word. I don't know what you're talking about, but sounds good.
I just heard you say, I don't know nothing about nothing or whatever. And so
I did say that. I do not know nothing about nothing. I'll give you that.
Back. Football at 5 coming up next. I know that on ESPN 690.
Hey First Coast, it's time for a different type of football. Both men's and women's pro soccer is coming to Northeast Florida for the first time with Jax USL, and we need your support. We want you to help us name our new teams by visiting jaxusl.com and give us your team name suggestions. You can also become a founding member of our exciting new USL Pro Soccer clubs and receive a free and exclusive collectible NFT from Campus Legends. Enjoy the World Cup, Jacksonville. We can't wait for kickoff.
Buying or leasing a car in Jacksonville is the best with Fields Auto Group, Jacksonville's luxury auto group. Lexus of Jacksonville and Orange Park, Mercedes-Benz of Jacksonville, Orange Park, Jaguar Land Rover, Jacksonville, Porsche, Jacksonville, Fields Cadillac, Jacksonville, and St. Augustine. If the luxury car you want isn't in stock, Fields Auto Group will order it. And at Fields, you'll never be charged over sticker price. Stop by a Fields store today and see what world-class service really means. Fields is a proud sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Fields Auto Group, fieldsauto.com.
Boss, wait till you hear this.
Whoa, hang on. We just found 6 houses without Safe Touch security, so let me enjoy my good mood for a little bit, will ya?
Sorry, boss, but Safe Touch is running a buy one, get one free special on their 24/7 recording perimeter guard cameras.
A BOCO on cameras?
Yeah. Listen, get 5-star security surveillance with Safe Touch's 2-way communicator, free installation, and lifetime warranty. Plus, add a doorbell camera for just $99.
Do that, Lester Jackson! Why is he doing this to me?
Boss, it's just another reason we have the Crooksmas Golden Rule. Stay away from Safe Touch houses.
Yeah. So much for my good mood.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Monitoring agreement required with approved credit. Beat the holiday rush. Cameras are going fast. Call 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE and frustrated taking pills that don't work, Prime Men's Medical Center offers breakthrough medical treatments that effectively treat your problem. 98% of patients experience immediate results during their first office visit. And for a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Rubinsky. The physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center offer the most advanced treatments that eliminate ED and PE. Now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Guys, to eliminate your frustration in the bedroom, call Prime Men's Medical Center now to take advantage of this exclusive limited-time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free, and you'll see instant results right in the office. Call now, 904-664-8214. 904-664-8214. That's 904-664-8214.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Mortno from Brent Friends on ESPN 690. Tune into our high-energy, multi-platform show Monday through Friday from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690 in a variety of video streaming platforms as well. As the seasons change, so do the sports topics. It's football season now, and we're bringing you all things sports weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. And you can tailgate with us at the Duval House for every Sunday home game this football season. Fueled by Celsius Essential Energy. Live fit.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news. ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting 49ers quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo does not need surgery on his broken foot. And if his rehab goes well, Garoppolo could return as a potential playoff contributor for the Niners, notes Schefter.
And he has the chance now to be back in 7 to 8 weeks, making it possible that if the 49ers go on an extended run, they potentially could get Jimmy Garoppolo back later this postseason if they're alive.
Also from Schefter, quarterback Baker Mayfield claimed on waivers by the Rams. There is a chance he plays against the Raiders Thursday night. From ESPN's Ed Werder, the Cowboys have concerns after Odell Beckham Jr.'s physical that the free agent receiver's recovery from a torn left ACL hasn't progressed enough to ensure he'd play before mid-January. The Titans fired GM John Robinson 2 days after that embarrassing loss to the Eagles, in which receiver A.J. Brown, traded by Robinson to Philly in the offseason, scored 2 touchdowns. Round of 16 at the World Cup, Portugal defeated Switzerland 6-1 to advance to the quarterfinals of the tournament.
Coming up on Wednesday, does the road to the Super Bowl go through Kansas City? I'll explain why maybe not so fast, my friend. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Mac, Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN2.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jacks presents Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
We're going to have to show a little more patience than the year 2 pom-pom people.
Kasey Kurtz.
Yo! Well, what are we doing, bro? Come on!
And Aaron Schachter.
I'm all in favor of these two showing their love, really celebrating their relationship.
This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Kasey Kurtz, and Aaron Schachter on Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio, ESPN 690.
Football at 5, we go here from Davoli's House of Cards. Brent Martineau here, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz back there in the Action Sports Shack studios. What's today? Tuesday? Tomorrow we'll be back in the studio. Wednesday at String Sports Brewery. Friday, who knows? I haven't planned that far ahead yet.
Aaron's got some serious Friday energy, by the way. I was trying to turn his mic on because he gave a good little woo.
Yeah, I did.
During the open of the show there for a second.
Pumping myself up,
I
Kasey.
like it.
He's fired up on a Tuesday.
You know why he's fired up, Kasey?
I do know why, but I can't say it on the radio.
Oh. Well, I don't know why he's fired up.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about.
I won't say it on the radio, but I think I got an idea too.
What are all these secrets you guys have? I want some.
Yeah.
But I was actually going with the on radio portion of why he's fired up.
Okay,
and that is because he doesn't have to plan a birthday party this weekend.
Let me tell you something, because we didn't close that loop. We didn't tie that knot.
Well, then let's close it.
But we don't have to get into it, Case. It's fine. Clearly, you're bothered by the birthday party stories.
I want to hear all about it.
But I haven't gotten to tell Brent we had a couple of swings and misses on the day of the birthday party.
You said that you had swings and misses, but never what they were.
You never told us what they were, but you also said at the end of the day, they loved it.
The kid, the son liked it. I don't know if my daughter loved it. She loves everything. She's still young enough to really appreciate everything.
All right.
But my son loved it. But,
so what were the swings and misses? What did you do wrong?
Mistakes were made, as he said.
Well, we didn't really think a lot of kids were coming based on the RSVPs, but you can't trust those these days.
Nah.
So we had a few kids show up, and I guess we didn't really think to, get security hired for the bounce house or anything. It was a big obstacle course bounce house. But, I mean, we're all standing under this gazebo at the neighborhood park with the rest of the parents, and we're just watching all of these kids bouncing off the other kids, head over heels, flipping around, falling out of the thing, and we're like, I think someone's about to get hurt. So maybe we could have done a little bit better with the safety thing, but the real swing and miss, we finally get all the kids back to the picnic tables, even though they don't want to be there. You got some crying, some mad. We took them out of the bounce house. We're like, hey, guys, it's time for cupcakes and cake. And then we turn to the cake. We start cutting pieces of cake. My wife turns to me. She goes, hey, can you grab the forks? And they hand them out with the plates. No forks at the party. Not a fork to be found.
No forks, Aaron?
You had like 25, 30 kids total between the two littles that were throwing the birthday party. You had about 10, 12, 15 parents standing around. I got my mom giving me dirty looks about no forks with the cake. And I turned to my wife. I was like, I think I got to run to Publix. There's no forks. You should have seen the look on her face, man. Holy cow.
All right. Who, truthfully, was assigned to get the forks?
Well, she handled the cakes and cupcakes, so I'm going to put it on her.
I love that you have no problem.
No problem. Put it on her.
Like, he didn't even hesitate, Kasey.
No.
I handled the invites poorly, and I handled the bounce house poorly, and she handled everything else. Her fault.
So, by the way, did they just eat it with their hands?
With their hands, Brent. What are we, savages?
Yes, why not? They're kids. That's just the equivalent of
They
savages.
just hand palmed the cake and shoved it in?
It was so gross. I'm still having nightmares about these kids and their icing hands touching everything. Oh, my God. Can't do it.
Speaking of, just an update on the marriages, I don't know if Kasey's got one, but this week went a lot better. Today's weigh-in. Steph is very happy with me today.
Oh, she got motivated.
She lost, and I gained.
Oh, so it's not that she got motivated. You wanted out of the doghouse.
Yeah.
You're sitting there eating marshmallows 5 at a time at night, trying to put some of those LBs back on. I see what you're doing, Brett. You're a smart guy.
Yeah, team player.
You've been married a long time. You know the secrets.
I didn't understand that I needed a marriage update when I came into work today, but the best thing I can give you is we're going to see Christmas lights tonight.
Oh, really? Where are you going to go?
Sweet.
Gervin? Isn't that a good spot?
My daughter loves that spot.
I'm not telling you.
Oh, you don't want listeners to show up.
Listen, wherever you're going, if they're good, listeners are already going to be there.
That's a good point.
Yeah, we're going to Gervin.
Gervin's the best one.
Yep.
Is it the best one? Because I've been through, but I haven't been to a lot of different ones.
There are a few spots, and believe it or not, on our website, ESPN690.com, I know you guys go there all the time for lots of stuff. We're going to have a list, because we put it on all our websites. We're going to have a list of all the locations in town to see Christmas lights and stuff like that if you want to take the kids out. So if you're listening and you want a nice, easy-to-go list, we should have that up pretty soon. But
yeah, we should probably get that up, huh?
In my opinion, that Gervin one is the best one in town.
Yeah, it's gas.
Weren't they doing some construction recently, like the last couple of years while that was going on, too?
I don't know about construction. We went last year at night, so I couldn't necessarily see the construction, but you drive slow enough, and everyone's coming through at the same time. They're driving slow enough that, forget seatbelts. Kids have their head through the sunroof, and they're screaming and laughing. It's like a great time, yeah.
It is fun. If you get the Christmas music playing. Do we have, a house in town that goes nuts, like the ones that go viral, where you're playing music to the lights going off?
I'm sure everyone's got one in their town. I don't know where ours is. but
because that doesn't necessarily mean you'll go, where everybody does it. And by the way, I'd be the neighbor in the Gervin part. But, I'm not participating this year, guys. I'm busy.
Yeah, we know.
What a
we
Grinch.
know exactly you would be that guy.
He's like, I'm busy.
You bum.
How much pressure is on those people?
I'm with you, man.
To contribute.
Not just contribute.
And what do they get out of it? A busy neighborhood for a month.
First of all, you can't drive down your You're right. You can't drive down your neighborhood, and you really do have to make a significant investment in Christmas lights to be in that neighborhood.
Is that do you get a tax break over there?
I doubt it. And these people are definitely throwing thousands at it. I mean, there are blow-up dolls in front lawns and stuff. There's all kinds of themed stuff. I saw a Jimmy Buffett Christmas display last year. These people are throwing 4 figures at this stuff.
Yeah, and by the way, if they have a damn HOA that makes them do that.
Give up on the HOAs, Brent.
Give up. I'm not giving up on HOA.
Wait till you're an adult, Kasey. You'll be
No, I have
it too.
the HOA, but I know where this goes. The HOA is a 25-minute conversation because Brent stays running hot on the HOAs, and I don't want another Kevin Bacon situation from the start of the show, okay?
Very upset
Kevin
about
Bacon conversation was fun.
I'm trying to keep the show on the rails. HOA, next thing.
But listen,
leaving it
bottom line is, I don't think that's a talked about point enough. We appreciate everybody who puts the lights up.
Sure.
They should be
Thank you for your service.
Honored. Yes, it's a thank you for your service around this holiday spirit time because a lot of people enjoy it. It's too bad for you. You can't get into your neighborhood. It costs you a fortune, and your electricity bills go.
For weeks. For weeks, the mayhem. You know how mad I'd be coming home from this show at 6:30 at night, and I have people in my neighborhood? I'd be so mad.
I get mad when there are cars parked on the street, not in their driveway. I can only imagine.
Me and Brent are going around with wheel spikes, lining all the intersections. That'll teach them.
And I love Christmas, by the way, but I think that would be a tough thing to be a part of every year.
Yeah.
Like, what's the reward after, 24 days?
There is none. People talking about your house on the radio. That's it.
I guess. I think we should, by
Not
the way,
even
if you
your
live in
specific
there,
house, too.
If you
Just
live
the
in
whole
there,
collective.
I feel like I should at least give you a Brent Friends beanie.
Yeah, all right. Let's go hand them out, hand to hand.
Well, if you give me the box, I'll be there tonight. I'll just throw them in the driveways.
That's
we
where
get
they'll
some
stay.
tweets or what? What are we doing here?
All right. Let's start at Mercedes Lewis because we had the conversation earlier, but for those joining us now, we can begin there. Here's the tweet we were talking about. Time is currency, says Mercedes Lewis. After 17 years in this great league, and by the way, when you say something like that after 17 years in this great league, that's when I start going, oh, man, I think this guy's about to retire. He's days away. Time is currency. After 17 years in this great league, I've realized there's less runway up ahead than it is behind. Achieving victory in this league is very tough. So when you're on the good side of a hard-fought battle, you celebrate those victories. Gratitude always. Do you think Mercedes is done after this year? It's been a long career now.
Yeah, I would say yes.
17 years is a long career anywhere. Banging bodies playing football is a really long career.
I would say the odds are this is going to be it. By the way, Aaron Rodgers might not be around anymore. Is he going to stay through the next rendition of the Green Bay Packers? I doubt it. So heck of a career, most likely, by Mercedes Lewis, and did it well. And I think, he feels like he's in good health still. So let's hope that happens for the next 5 weeks at the very least. And heck of a football player for a long time. Storied
Kasey,
career.
we talked about Mercedes' numbers. Do you think he's better than Kyle Brady was for this team? Because that's really the conversation is when it comes to tight ends.
Listen, I'm a numbers guy. I think the numbers say what they do. If you do better than another person, it's obvious. And I think the longevity, especially in a sport like this one, is not something you see a lot, especially with guys retiring early. And again, I'm not mad at the decision to retire early. Do what you got to do. But Mercedes has been in it a long time. Also, he's with the Jags a long time. And, the Jags. So, you got to appreciate what he went through. I think we're going to start to somehow get him into pride. We're going to work on that here at ESPN 690 over the next year.
Let's head up that thing.
But what I do find interesting about the tweet is it's like Tuesday.
Yeah. In week 13.
This gives me Vontae Davis vibes. He might just call it
today.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. I read that tweet. I was like, did he hurt himself last night? Maybe he had a season ender that's making him think about his career. But no, he scored last night.
That's funny you said that because I did think the same thing. But then I think he was really trying to show gratitude for the win, right?
Yes.
And hey, don't take winning for granted in this league. I played for the Jaguars. And so
that's true, he did.
And he also was probably like, I don't know how many more we're going to win.
Yeah, this year.
The Packers
this year.
And I think when you get to a certain age, you start talking like old people talk.
Yeah,
you start
absolutely.
reflecting on stuff.
I do that all the time now.
Yeah.
Well, you should. You are old.
Yeah.
So old.
Clearly.
It is incredible how old you are.
Clearly.
And by the way, there are players that have great careers that aren't necessarily under the list of great players.
Okay.
Right? And I think Mercedes is that. I don't think anybody would ever say he's one of the great tight ends of all time. But I think he had a great career.
Yeah, I would say the same. All right, let's move on to George Pickens, a guy that some people here in Jacksonville wanted drafted. George Pickens, this is from NFL Rookie Watch, by the way. George Pickens reportedly unhappy with the target share with the Steelers. This is after, by the way, they got rid of Claypool. This comes after the Steelers rookie wide receiver was spotted yelling, "Throw me the bleeping ball," as he made his way back to the sideline in yesterday's game. Do we think that the Pickens experiment over in Pittsburgh is having a rough patch because of the quarterback play, or is this just a one-game thing?
Yeah, I think this is a one-game thing, and I also think I really thought about this today when I saw that. I think I saw it yesterday too, but I don't think this stuff matters anymore.
The yelling.
Yeah, like I don't think it matters.
It is the hot story right now.
Well, I get it. It's caught on camera. Those things like the Mac Jones thing. But what I don't think it matters necessarily is inside the building, inside the locker room. I don't think the coaches even care about it. The bottom line is players have power now. And players have more power than they've ever had. And it's about players.
Yeah.
And the players are more important than you, the coach, most likely, unless you're Belichick. And now they're even more important than him, probably. So, like, I really did think about this. Used to be such a big deal, looked like insubordination, used to look and I'm not saying you should see it on every Sunday or every high school field or college field or whatever it is. But when you talk about professional sports, these outbursts, I think, show more about passion than they do about lack of chemistry and you're hurting the team.
Sometimes, right? Because sometimes they are exactly what we all kind of hope they are. In the case of the Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury, or some of these other arguments, the Russell Wilson versus the defensive lineman, you kind of get the feeling that this isn't just about a passionate exchange during a game. This isn't Tom Brady yelling at the offense to get their bleep together. This is like people who don't like each other having it bubble over into their professional lives sometimes.
Yeah. I listen, this goes back. Okay, remember, like, if let's say Keyshawn Johnson, or
he does a morning show,
or Randy Moss, or give me somebody else. Give me Terrell Owens. Like, if they do this 15 years ago, which they did.
They did.
At times. Like, it was this mega story and felt like it infiltrated the locker room and the media ran with it and it became a thing, and maybe it was divisive, maybe it wasn't, but it was looked at like a week-long topic. I just don't think that exists anymore. Like, I'm sure there are outliers, but I just don't think that's a thing anymore.
I do agree with you, but in reverse, in the sense that when Keyshawn writes, "Throw me the damn ball," when Steve Smith would yell at his quarterback, when a Terrell Owens gets mad, back then there wasn't Twitter or 24-hour networks, or even though ESPN was 24 hours, they weren't necessarily playing the video of the sideline fight over and over and over again. It wasn't a meme to be used with different captions about me walking into work on a Monday. None of that's going on, where now it happens and then it's used as a punchline and a focus point constantly until something changes.
Well, yeah, and here's the other thing. When the fans think, because of fantasy football, or maybe because it's just George Pickens and he's been pretty good at times this year, the fans don't care about this stuff because they're like, you're right. Throw him the damn ball.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, like, he's not going to draw the ire of the fan base. So there he has public perception and everything else in his favor. So, anyway, I do think it's interesting, but I thought about it in all this context today, and it's kind of fascinating how far we've come on some of this stuff.
Do you think it's unfair for him to go after his rookie quarterback? I know Pickens is a rookie too, but I think it's a different world being a rookie receiver and a rookie quarterback.
I don't know. Was he going after him in that context, or was he basically also kind of going after the offensive coaches, like, find stuff for me? Because you can always run a play for a guy.
Yeah.
So you never know fully what this is. And again, this goes back even to the Kyler Murray stuff. And, I mean, Tom Brady, we see these guys all the time. They're competitive, man.
Yeah, but when I see Tom Brady, like he did it last night, when I see Tom Brady do it, I'm like, that's competitiveness. When I saw Kyler do it, I thought that was a guy who was mad at his coach and doesn't like him.
I don't know, because I don't know if that's fair, because I think, sure, Brady's built the equity, and we know he's a winner, and we know he's the greatest of all time, so that carries a little bit different weight. And Kyler's had his issues, and so that carries a little different weight.
Yep.
While I understand that, but at the same time, when Tom's doing that, I say two things to myself. Like, hey, super competitive, fiery guy, I don't mind that stuff. But he also looks like a damn baby.
Oh, yeah.
And Kyler Murray did the same thing. Like, I first said he looks like a baby because of his background and some of the issues that he's had, but he also hasn't built up the equity of being this great player, and maybe hasn't earned that, at least from me as a very casual viewer from afar of the Cardinals. But at the same time, you could be like, I understand competitive nature, man. Let's go.
It's funny.
Let's go. I want my guy saying that.
It happened in the Seahawks game, too, this past Sunday between Geno and Kenneth Walker.
Yes, it did.
Interesting to me because, Geno's been in the league 12 years, or however long it's been. He's definitely a veteran. Kenneth Walker is a rookie in the league. Walker obviously having a big season. The Seahawks having a good season. So to see it blow up like that on the sidelines is a little bit shocking, but then, kind of gives credence to the fact that maybe it just happens all the time, and we're just seeing it more because it's the hot story now.
I think it does happen a lot more than we think, by the way, and I also think I think the thing I thought about with Gino is like, no wonder why this guy got punched in the face in the Jets locker room. Right? Wasn't that? It was Gino, right?
It was. And, and a linebacker you owed $600 to. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking of that a little bit, but I think it does happen more often than we even see it, or and now there's video everywhere. Fan might have the video of it too. So I just don't think it's that big of a deal. It's heat of the moment. It's like, I say this a lot about our business, and I've said it more on the TV side over the years, because what happens sometimes, let's just say you got a big show coming up, right? And it's like the draft special, and this didn't happen, but I'm just going to give an example. Like, you have something goes wrong, and when something goes wrong, it's like, whoa. Like, we planned all this time, and we put all this time into it, and, something's going wrong. How are we going to fix it? But before we get to how we're going to fix it, there's always, like, that person that just likes to yell about it. And I always said this in our business going back. I'm like, what's the point of sitting here and yelling about it?
Well, for some people, it's the process.
Well, but everybody gets stunned by the yelling instead of doing the fixing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I worked with a person back when I was throwing concerts for the alternative station in town. I worked with a person in setting up those concerts who insisted on going through a frantic, anxiety-driven, psychotic process in the lead up to the event that was almost unbearable. Like, it almost made it impossible to work with this person. But if you allowed them to go through that process in their preparation, home run on the other side of it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I also would say this. I was like, hey, we're a bunch of, like, grown-ups here. Like, you don't need to be yelling at it.
That's the thing right there.
Right? So that's something we misplace sometimes too. But the last part of that is, if we, the three of us, have a bad show, we get mad at each other, whatever, it's the heat of the moment. It's during the show. It's all that stuff going on. Doesn't mean we can't go to get a beer later.
That's true. But there's also the reverse that happens, right? Where we're mad at each other, and then that makes us have a bad show, which is what I think happens in some of these cases.
Well, that's probably that can happen. But like Kasey, you know how like all the producers sometimes you've said like they don't like me down there.
They hate you.
Yeah, but like I don't get a beer with them after all the show all the time. Like,
they'll
it's
take the free beers.
Which is crazy you say this. I have received 0 free beers.
Well,
we have done none of the beer doing.
I'm not hanging out with you guys. But my
Just
point
spreading
being
lies about beer
is like I would do it. Like, it's not personal. It's like let's go get our job done, do the job the right way. And I view that stuff as the same way. For the most part, when it comes to sports, like I think this is heat of the moment stuff, competitive stuff. Let's get it done the right way. It's frustrating. We're not doing our job. Boom. But we're good. Now, there are some instances where things are bubbling. If this happened, if Zach Wilson goes back in the game the next month and I see Garrett Wilson or somebody, I'm going to be like, well, that stems from a lot more than just today.
Yeah, that's a bigger deal, yeah.
So it's just an interesting dynamic. But again, just to go back and reiterate, we're on this one for a long time, I know, but this is I think we're more accepting of this stuff now than ever before.
All right. Well, I do want to get to one more tweet before we go to break, because this one, just breaking today, we all know that multiple teams have been hot to trot on OBJ.
As they should.
Specifically the Cowboys. You've seen Jerry Jones basically come out and serenade this man in the press. I mean, he is just heart eyes and turtle doves flying around his head. There's a Cupid hanging around. He is looking for OBJ. Well, Ed Werder reporting a source from the Cowboys have concerns after Odell Beckham Jr.'s physical that his recovery from his torn left ACL in the Super Bowl has not, I repeat, not progressed enough to ensure that he would play before mid-January, and the possibility exists signing him would have no benefit until the 2023 season. Kasey, I'll start with you because you were positive this man come in and make an impact today.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're going to probably lose another season on him.
Nah, I mean, what I see there, and, I'm not the smartest guy, but it's...
Smokescreen? You're saying smokescreen?
I'm saying, well, no, what I see there is, January, Super Bowl's in February.
You still think he's making an impact? He's first getting on the field mid-January?
Absolutely. Yeah. If you're a team like Dallas, who if everything's clicking, you can go that far, yeah, you take the risk. Because if he gets out there and he's healthy...
I think
oh my God.
I think Kasey's dying on the hill, and I don't mind it because, could it happen? Absolutely. But, again, this has been my concern all the time with Odell Beckham Jr. ACL is nothing to sneeze at now. I mean, coming back takes time. It takes time to get familiar, get your feel, trust it. Like, that is not something you just jump on the field and boom, let's start going catch touchdown passes and 45 yards down the field. And
by the way, it's a
catches.
position that requires lateral movement. Like, you need to use them.
I just don't think it's going to happen this year for him. And I think that's why a lot of this has been more name than game when it comes to Odell Beckham Jr., and that included all the courtship last night. I mean, this was basically the Dallas Cowboys looking at Odell Beckham Jr. as a 5-star recruit with two-star skills right now. He's not going to live up to it.
Yeah.
He's not going to help. I don't think they need him, first of all. They're fine. I don't think they need him.
I mean, 54 points is certainly a good offensive output.
Well, they're scoring like 38 a game or something with Dak back.
Yeah.
Without him. Like, you don't need more than 38 points with that defense, guys.
Yeah, they're running hot.
Like, I think this is wasted energy on the Odell Beckham Jr. front. I mean, it's fine to explore it, but I think this is a lot of wasted energy when it comes to at least the Dallas Cowboys. Now, you give me the Giants, that's worth a shot, right? If he was able to play before January.
Even if he's not.
They need a little extra juice.
Take a flyer. What's it going to cost? $5 million?
Yeah. Is that it for tweets?
I got one more. It's not really a long conversation, especially because we're kind of late in the break, but I just want to throw this at you. NFL tweeted out, Joe Burrow career versus the Chiefs. You ready for these numbers, Brent? 3-0, 327 yards a game through the air, 9 total touchdowns, 1 interception. Joe Shiesty might be kind of a jerk, but he's got the numbers against the Chiefs.
It's very interesting, right?
And all those, by the way, as Kasey pointed out earlier, all of that happened in 2022.
Yeah, your Twittering here tonight are you just trying to make Kasey feel better? I mean, you punched him in the gut a little bit with OBJ, and now you're coming back with a little Joe Burrow.
That's my style. I do the parenting with the kids like this, too.
So
a little sugar, a little spice.
Listen, I think this is impressive. Did you guys catch the Manning cast at all last night?
No.
Home Alone 2.
Good Will Hunting would have been a better choice,
Good
but I
Will
like
Hunting,
Home Alone
yeah.
as well. Home Alone 1 way better than 2. Anyway, I heard Manning, I think it was Randy Moss who asked Manning about the preparation of Brady and how the quarterbacks can elevate each other in a game week. And it was really interesting conversation how Manning and Brady did that. They wanted to be on point. They spent more time because they knew the other guy was doing the same. And they brought up the Burrows and Josh Allen's to Mahomes. Man, it would be really cool if you get Trevor in that conversation at some point, you know? No, seriously. Like,
it would be good for the Jaguars, yeah.
Well,
if he's in the conversation, means the team is doing well.
And it might not be with Mahomes because you're not going to play him every year, but it might be with some of these other quarterbacks, or do we get a rivalry eventually in the AFC South? I think that's what it would take. But it is impressive what Burrow has done against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Joey Burr.
But what's weird is that teams struggle so much against specific teams, like Brady and the Bucs against the Saints.
Yeah, or the Jags against the Texans.
And by the way, doesn't Burrow struggle a little bit against the Ravens, Kasey? Is that his team?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, so like
because he's good against Cleveland.
It's just weird that they struggle so much in and out. Like, why do they have their number? Why doesn't everybody else copy it? I don't get that.
Maybe it's more random than actual.
Hard to duplicate.
Hard to duplicate, or just have a bad feel going into a game.
Maybe
it's more on the other player. Like, maybe it's Brady who's just got
just gets amped up for the game when he
against
sees
the Saints.
when he sees the Jets. He gets all amped up to the tune of 43 points a game.
That's not the case with Burrow. It's just the other people around him. He's ready all the time. It's somebody else's fault if they lose.
Gross. We'll be back. How about the Andrew Luck story? Did you catch that? Very interesting today. We'll talk about it. We come back from Davoli's House of Cards right here on ESPN 690.
Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the 2022 World Soccer Championship in Qatar, sponsored by Prevagen. The quarterfinals are officially set. Advancing out of the knockouts for the first time since 2006, Portugal dominated Switzerland today 6-1. Starting in place of superstar Cristiano Ronaldo, Gonzalo Ramos rose to the occasion and scored a hat-trick for Portugal, which also got goals from Pepe, Rafael Guerreiro, and Rafael Leao. The big storyline here, Ronaldo did not start after the fall fallout with his head coach following Friday's match against South Korea. He entered the match with his team leading by 4 goals in the 73rd minute. With the win, Portugal moves on to face Morocco in the last 8. In a stunning upset in Doha today, Morocco shocked Spain 3-0 on penalties to advance to the last 8 for the first time in the country's history. Ashraf Hakimi booted the deciding goal. Spain failed to convert on 3 of its penalty kicks. I'm Erica Herskowitz, Westwood One Sports.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Every day, I bet your floors have shoe grime and pet grime and invisible grime.
Invisible grime?
Yep, the kind of grime that you only notice when you look at your socks.
Ew.
So get Swiffer Sweeper Wet, the cleaning power of a mop with the convenience of a wipe. Sweeper heavy-duty wet pads come prepped with a cleaning solution that traps and locks dirt and grime deep inside the pad, even dirt and grime you can't see, for the clean floors you want, anytime you want it. Swiffer Sweeper heavy-duty wet pads.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Some areas of patchy fog this morning, but we'll be replacing that with abundant sunshine by mid to late morning and temperatures rising into the middle and upper 70s today. Mostly clear skies tonight with a couple areas of patchy fog yet again and even warmer temperatures on the way for Wednesday, all while staying nice and dry. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Trevor Gibbs.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Right now, get 42% off everything in the store. Don't buy until you get our price.
The 12 Days of Christmas is back at Best Bet Jacksonville. Yes, our popular 12 Days of Christmas high-hand promotion will be going on from December 12th to the 23rd. Best Bet will be paying out over $260,000 during this promotion, with daily high hands increasing every day from $1,200 up to $2,300. With great cash games and daily tournaments going on, there's always a ton of action happening at Best Bet. Check out all our great promotions in December. Visit bestbetjax.com for more information. That's bestbetjax.com.
You're the one who protects the flock, and that requires an eye for detail. Because when safety and well-being are on the line, it's the details that can save lives. Even when no one else is watching, you see everything. Grainger gets you, and we're here for you, and all the ones who get it done with a wide range of safety products and solutions. Plus board-certified safety consultants here to answer your questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
Hello.
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect, support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free Millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
This year, CGC Water Treatment is celebrating 75 years in business. Put their experience to work for you. Discover how good your water can be with a new Connecticut softener and drinking water system like the one my family's had for more than 5 years now. Connecticut's twin tank, non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Now through the end of December, trade in your existing equipment and get $750 off a Connecticut Premier Series softener. Great financing available for the holidays, subject to credit approval. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That number again, 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment, authorized independent independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Attention Dish customers. Dish Network pulled WFOX Fox 30 off the air, depriving you of your favorite programming. That means no sports, local news, weather, traffic, or the shows you love. Call Dish now at 1-800-333-3474 and tell them to put WFOX Fox 30 back on the air.
Bank how and when you want to with Community First. Get free checking with rewards and free digital tools that make managing your money simple and life simply better. Add an account at justbeyourself.com. Community First Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. When the prospect of divorce becomes a reality, you need a partner that you can count on. If you're a man in this situation, consider contacting Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men navigate complex legal matters for 30 years.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Jacksonville area attorneys. Offices in Jacksonville and by appointment only in Ponte Vedra Beach. Online at CordellCordell.com. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe.
Boys are feisty back in the Action Sports Jack studios.
Somebody lied to somebody. Ooh. And it wasn't me. I was getting cookies out of the vending machine.
No lie was told.
No, I just didn't hear.
You didn't have your headphones on. I thought you could hear me through the speaker. Is all.
I was in the bathroom.
Oh.
At that point, I think.
How was that?
So the bottom line is I think we have Daniel on. Let's get Daniel in.
Daniel on the phone. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Hey, what's up, Daniel?
A couple quick questions. So you were talking about Mercedes Lewis, and I was just pulled up Pro Football Reference and just curious. And he does in the last since he's been with Green Bay, he's at 75% catch percentage. He's listed as 20 pounds heavier right now than Chris Manhertz, an inch taller, and almost 15% better catch percentage. So if we were to bring him back, I mean, it couldn't be too horrible. And then what are we going to do about backup quarterbacks? I mean, everybody in Jags Nation held their breath when Trevor went down. And then the second thought comes in of, oh, God, we got CJ coming in. So really, man, what are we going to do about that? So,
Daniel, thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it. First part, I think Mercedes Lewis is going to be done. I'm not bringing him back to Jacksonville. I think Manhertz, by the way, quietly, they really like him in the building. They like him on the line. They value him. So and it's a younger. I mean, you can really call him a younger Mercedes Lewis when it comes to blocking. I think that's the way they feel about it.
So funny to me, all three of those guys' contracts up at the end of the year. You could have all three of them back next year.
Yeah, you could. Because really, the interesting thing about Ingram is Ingram's been good for the Jags, but he hasn't been so good that he's going to be courted and coveted.
Yeah, I don't think he earned himself a $15 million deal somewhere.
But he's still I think he'll be a bit of a hot commodity. So what can the Jags do will be interesting there. The second part of the backup quarterback, I'm not sure I said that. I know he's not saying that I said it, but I'm not sure I said, oh gosh, right? Like here comes C.J. Beathard. I said, oh, gosh, Trevor Lawrence might be out. Now, that's a different story.
I said, oh, gosh, they're getting creamed by the Lions.
Well, and that, too. So I'm not specific. I think, if C.J. Beathard had to start a game or two, I think I'd be okay with it. I mean, what else do you want?
6 games?
6 games, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
But a lot.
I think any team is in trouble.
By the way, 28 teams in the league probably are in trouble.
Yeah, I agree.
So
unless you got Baker Mayfield waiting on you, come on.
Oh, yeah, that's sports. But how about you guys? I mean, just because I feel that way. I mean, what else can they do there? They're paying a guy $2.5 million a year. I think it was a 2-year deal. 2 years, $5 million, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, what else are they going to do at that spot that would make you feel better? I mean, you don't want a young guy coming in there. You want the older guy. I mean, Beathard, I think, is just as good as any backup. I mean, maybe not any backup, but most backups in the NFL.
I do think what you're seeing these days with quarterbacks, though, you're seeing so many of the new blood come through that there is like a wealth of veteran talent who's not too old to play. For instance, if Blake Bortles didn't want to retire, like, he probably could have found more playing time in the league. He was still young enough.
Well, he tried for a couple of years and didn't land in – I mean, he landed in some spots, but not a secure spot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about job security. I'm just saying, like, there are lots of those type players out there right now, guys who were maybe higher regarded or highly regarded in the mid-O's to mid-10s and are still floating around. A guy like Joe Flacco on the Jets is a good example of that, too.
No way. I don't want him. I mean,
no, I'm not saying here. I'm just saying in general, like an older QB to not just mentor the young guys, but step in when needed.
Here's the deal. Like, again, try to look around and say, okay, whose backup spot do you like?
Philly.
Minshew, fine. And Minshew's done fine settling into that role, too. You know he doesn't want that role, but he settled fine into that role.
Dolphins with Teddy Ballgame. I'll take Teddy Bridgewater almost any backup quarterback.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think, Jameis right now is a backup, so I guess.
Case Keenum on the Bills.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Good backup.
Yeah, but, I mean, I don't see that's where, like, Case
Brissett
Keenum,
on the
C.J.
Browns?
Beathard, like, is.
Yes.
I'd rather Case Keenum, Jacoby Brissett. I'd even rather probably Colt McCoy just based on the experience.
And he just played and won.
I mean, Chad Henne's backing up Patrick Mahomes.
Meh.
Is C.J. Beathard any different than Chad Henne?
No.
Is Nick Foles, though?
No.
Because he's
not
backing
at this
up.
point. I don't think Foles at this point. You know, I think it's now getting down the road for him. So, obviously, Heineke was a good backup.
Yep.
It's because they benched their starter, but yeah.
Personally, I like Tyrod Taylor. I know not everyone does. I get it.
So, Tony Polster asks a really good question. Do you think right now the San Francisco 49ers wish they had C.J. Beathard or Purdy?
No, they're happy with Purdy.
I don't know why you love this guy so much. What has made you fall in love with Purdy?
He's a good player. He was good in college.
Well, so are a lot of these guys that aren't good in the pros. I mean,
yeah, but he'll be fine. They're putting him on a great team. Like, it's not like they're asking Jimmy G to throw it 50 times a game.
He did play well.
You know, if you can listen, I would like to believe if you get drafted in the NFL and you have that team, you can manage it. You can throw it 20 times a game.
Yeah.
You can hand it to Debo, Eli Mitchell, Christian McCaffrey, or McCaffrey, depending on who you ask. Like, there's plenty. Kyle Juszczyk can even carry the ball. Like, if you can find a dude that can throw it 20 times who was somewhat successful in college as he was, like, I feel good about it.
Yeah. I mean, the Colts tried to give the job to Ellinger, and he couldn't.
Brock Purdy was significantly better than Ellinger in college.
Yeah. So, like, I guess the moral of the story is I don't know where else you'd want to go with it. I think this is a good spot. It's a good situation. I think he's good for Trevor. There's a lot that needs to be said about that. Like, Henne's been very good for Mahomes as he was coming along.
Yeah.
That's an important part of it with a younger quarterback.
I would just like to throw out there that I operate most Sundays under the impression the Jags are going to lose. If for some reason Trevor Lawrence is not playing in the game, there's not a chance I'll operate anyway other than they were going to lose.
Yeah.
No matter who's playing quarterback.
Yeah. Well,
whoever your backup is, even if it's Teddy Bridgewater, I'm like, well, the Jags are going to lose.
He's the only player on the team that you feel that way, too, about. Like, if Etienne's not in the game, you miss him, but do you think you're automatically losing?
No, they actually won with him on the sideline.
Yeah.
Yes.
But if Trevor's not in the game, it feels pretty
I'll probably fire up the FIFA, to be real with you.
Well, listen, here's the other part of that now. That is a seismic shift in the last 3 weeks. That's what's happened in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So don't miss it. Like, that's a big part of it. Right now in Jacksonville, you want the ball in number 16's hands. A month ago, we weren't necessarily saying that. In fact, people were wondering if he was going to be the guy coming off the Denver loss. So this has really shifted. And where you're like, I want to see him throw more. I want the ball in his hands. I trust him more than I trust the receivers, the offensive line, and even the backs, the one who fumbled in the second play of the game the other day. Like, that's where Trevor's at right now. So, like, what you said there is significant. And it's a good place to be because you really want your separation between your starting quarterback and your backup quarterback to be massive. Because they don't make many like him if it's massive. If it's close, that means your starting guy's probably not as good as you wished he was.
Mid, as Kasey would say.
Mid. Unless you have Brock Purdy.
Well, the problem in New York right now is also a good thing, I guess, right? It can work out in your favor. but Zach Wilson is not obviously head and shoulders above or better quarterback than Mike White.
Well, if your starting quarterback's quarterback 31 in the league at the best, and your backup's 37, it's not that far of a drop-off.
And by the way, it can only work in your favor if you're looking for a little blowback for benching your starter. Otherwise, you're talking about a playoff team whose playoff hopes are dwindling as they continue to move forward.
But again, if you go inches per play, it doesn't matter.
It's true.
You suck.
Most people are better than that.
Yes.
Let's take a break. We come back, put a bow on the show. Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton coming up. I do want to get to the Andrew Luck topic. Probably won't spend a ton of time, but if you missed the article today, fascinating on Andrew Luck. We'll share a little bit of it when we come back on ESPN 690.
Right now, American Window Products is offering the newest features in window technology with Ultra Dual Low E glass and insulated vinyl frames with magnet weather stripping on windows for an airtight seal to help reduce your energy usage. All at an affordable price. This exclusive offer is for a limited time, so act now to save big with 24 months zero interest financing. Schedule a free estimate at AmericanWindowProducts.com. American Window Products, the window professionals.
Is your digital marketing strategy keeping you up at night? Do you have more questions than answers? CMG Local Solutions can help you take all the guesswork out of digital marketing. Let CMG Local Solutions create the best marketing plan for your global, regional, or local business. CMG Local Solutions has the right tools to fit your business's marketing needs.
Learn more at cmglocalsolutions.com/Jacksonville. That's cmglocalsolutions.com/Jacksonville.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. We were asked a question the other day about a store's reputation and how a customer might judge that. The first thing that came to mind was to look at how long they've been in business. Because if a store or a person is disreputable, that word will get out fast and that business won't be around very long. The second thing that comes to mind for jewelry stores, if the store has been in business a long time, there'll be a lot of folks in the area wearing jewelry from that establishment. And if they sell fine jewelry, you can best bet that those pieces have been shown thousands of times and probably passed down from one generation to the next, and a lot of people have been told where that piece came from. At Underwoods, it's our stated goal to be the best jeweler in the South. Not the biggest, so everything we do and carry has to move us towards that goal. And ultimately, it's satisfied customers wearing our jewelry that have kept Underwoods in business since 1928. So come by and see us in San Marco, Avondale, the Shops of Ponte Vedra, and the Avenues Mall.
The University of South Carolina and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish will face off in Jacksonville at the 78th TaxSlayer Gator Bowl game December 30th. Game day starts early with the TaxSlayer Tailgate and Fan Fest at Met Park at 11 a.m. The official pregame show starts at 3 p.m. with kickoff at 3:30 on Bill Gay grounds at TIAA Bank Field. Don't miss a top 25 matchup between the South Carolina Gamecocks and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish at the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl. Tickets and hospitality packages are on sale at TaxSlayerGatorBowl.com. That's TaxSlayerGatorBowl.com.
There's life before sports injury, and there's life after. You're in pain, and you need answers, fast. Mayo Clinic's orthopedic and sports medicine team will see you same day, no referral necessary. Rest assured, we'll get it right from the start and have you back in action as quick as you can say. Ranked the #1 hospital in Florida for orthopedics. To schedule, visit sportsmedicine.mayoclinic.org.
The Ospreys are swooping here as we head toward the end of 2022 and into the beginning of 2023 basketball style. There's a lot of momentum on the University of North Florida campus. New improvements at UNF Arena with basketball season going on. And don't forget to get your tickets and check out the new arena. Men's and women's basketball, UNFOspreys.com for news, schedules, and results. Be a part of the momentum at the University of North Florida. Attend a game. Join the Osprey Club, UNFOspreys.com.
Dell Technologies' Days of Deals for Business start now with fresh, limited quantity deals on tech to drive productivity. Save on select performance laptops and desktops powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, plus free shipping on everything, and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Gah, I'm so stressed about my business not being ready for the holidays.
Ooh, Ma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Ooma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays, 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Welcome back to Voley's House of Cards here on a Tuesday. Put a bow on the show here. Coming up, Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz. Been a fun show here on a Tuesday afternoon on ESPN 690. Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton coming up next.
More Kevin Bacon talk on the way.
We hitting anything off tonight? What do we got? Any FSU shows games? Or?
We do. We have the Jimmy V Classic.
Oh, okay. Got some basketball. College
we do.
hoops.
Yes.
Good deal. I like it. All right. Hey, you guys saw me talk about this in our group text, and I don't know if you got a chance to read the article. And by the way, the article is very long, like very long. This guy wrote the article, and part of the reason he actually says it in the article that Andrew Luck decided to do it was that he Googled the guy, and he was like into extreme skiing, and so he loved that because he loves to ski, Andrew Luck. And so that was one of the reasons he did the article with this guy. And so over months, he visited with him like 5 different times, I guess. And been working on the article for a long time, and it's a long read. But the long and short of it is his wrestling with retirement, coming back from injuries, his self-worth that was basically just put in the basket of being a quarterback, whether it was in high school, college, or the NFL. It was a fascinating view, and one you could really probably feel from their perspective. Like, if you're an athlete, nobody cares about anything else except how you do.
Yeah,
especially
literally.
the QB. Like he got to the point where he was saying in this story, he said, I think it was Costanzo, I think it was, the offensive lineman.
Yeah.
I might have messed up his name.
That's it.
But for Indy, who basically said,
Anthony.
You have to, when you're the quarterback, when he was a young player, he came in, he's like, listen, you are the best. Like, you have to believe I'm the quarterback and I do nothing wrong, basically. And you can never let doubt creep in. And you got to control everything. And so from that point, he was like, I've got to control the outcomes. So he would go out to team dinners, like with his offensive linemen. He would order them dinner.
Weird.
Because he's like, I'm controlling the outcome of what you're doing.
How did they feel about it?
Yeah. Well, I think it was just something like he did everything. He ran meetings.
Meanwhile, if you're buying dinner for 6 300-pound men, chances are you're just ordering like the left side of the menu at that point, right? Like, you're not picking out individual dishes.
Yeah.
They're like, what would you like to order? You're like, yes.
It's a fascinating look at, like, how do you view Andrew Luck?
In terms of where he stands in history?
Well, just how do you view him? You view him as a guy who gave up on the game?
No.
Who cut his career short?
And I know a lot of people do. Yes, cut his career short, but was willing to walk away and did. I love that.
Yeah, so you admire it.
Oh, 100%. The guy walked away from legit hundreds of millions of dollars. Could you imagine Andrew Luck playing? He'd be in the prime of his career right now, right? He'd be in his early 30s.
Oh, and think about the money they're making right now.
Yeah, he'd be making $60 million a year. Guaranteed. He'd be the first guy to have it all guaranteed. The Colts would lock him in on a lifetime contract. It would be ridiculous.
But put that here in Jacksonville. Like, if Trevor Lawrence in 6-7 years was like, man, I've been beat up a little bit. Like, I've done a lot. Like, I just don't feel it anymore. And basically that's what Luck said. He's like, I'm just living this life for other people, not me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel it. Plus, he was coming back from a lot of injuries. But if he did that, like, in hindsight, you really admire it. But you're also like, what do you mean you're leaving? You're a generational quarterback. We're supposed to win 3 Super Bowls with you. Like, I could understand that angst in Indianapolis.
You can, but you know what? You can also appreciate that at some point, because we all love sports. You say this all the time, Brent. There are people out there who don't even care about sports, don't care they exist, could live their life without ever looking at a sport ever again. And here's a guy whose whole life was sports. It essentially defined him from his childhood through his young adulthood. And he had brains. You know, he went to a smart school and earned a degree. It wasn't like he was doing the football thing over there.
He was a very smart guy.
He was going to school at Stanford. And here's a smart guy who said, you know what? I don't have to do it this way.
Yeah, and
it's
now
impressive.
listen, the injury stuff was mega bad. Like
Sure.
it was worse than anybody even knew. Like in terms of his shoulder and all this other stuff. But they're just like a bullet point of the article, and this is why you should read it, how fascinating it is that they were living in Indianapolis all this time after he retired.
He never
so it's
left.
not like he went away. Now they would go on trip, and I think now they're going to move because he's going to school in Stanford again, like business school or something.
But it's not like he was around the NFL orbit either. There was no reason for him to be in Indy other than loving where he lived.
That's right. Well, so yeah, but his kid would play soccer at a place right next to the facility. He'd hear them practice.
Wow. How do you not get jealous or miss it?
Well, he did. He would talk to Frank Reich and Ballard and those guys. He was actually more connected than I think people even knew.
Very much a Jeff Saturday participant.
Well, and so maybe that's why there were rumors at times he's coming back. He's coming back. And a lot of this was about his home life and his wife and he needed to stop living life selfishly. But it's what I say. There's only one way to do it. You can't not be selfish. Especially as a quarterback in the NFL.
In the NFL. Or really at the top of any industry. When you're that good at any industry, you really do have to kind of be selfish about it.
Here's the one thing that, and you might not answer any questions if you read this article, but what's fascinating about it is it doesn't necessarily have to pertain to football. It actually, you think of a real estate agent, right, who's really good and locked in and making money, or somebody that say, really, boom, boom, boom. That's probably because they are doing that a lot. They are working their butt off.
Yeah.
But you would read that article and be like, is this what defines me and for what?
Yeah, what's on the other side of it?
It's very retrospective, right, or introspective.
Reflective, yeah.
So, it's really a pretty cool article to see what happened. But also pretty wild that a talent like that gave it up so quick.
Was able to walk away.
And you respect that out of Calvin Johnson did it.
Yes.
Barry Sanders did it.
Yep.
Sandy Koufax going all the way back did it.
Bo Jackson.
It's
he was
hard.
hurt.
And then you take a look at some of the guys, and it's hard to give up the life like Tom Brady.
Yeah, guys who were holding on forever, yeah.
Wild. I think it's really wild. If you get a chance to read it, you really should. It'll take a little bit of time, so carve a few minutes out, depending on how fast you read. Took me a little bit.
So I read fast.
Don't skim over. There'll be an essay tomorrow on it. All right, Kasey?
I will not pass.
All right, Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton coming up next. Thanks to Davoli's House of Cards for having us out. Come on by. Next Tuesday, we'll be back here again in St. Johns County. Back in the studio tomorrow, 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. with Clay Harbor on Brent and Friends. Have a good night, everybody.
It's time to turn on the savings, even on used. Toyotathon is on at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. That's over 400 pre-owned on the lot. All makes, all models, ready to test drive, save big, and take home today. Plus, Arlington's 30-day exchange program comes with your purchase. That's 30 days to love your purchase or exchange it. What are you waiting for? Get Toyotathon savings at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned today. Shop in person and online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Toyotathon for full details.
Best Bet is paying out over $725,000 in promotions this December. Kick off your holiday festivities at Best Bet Jacksonville, Best Bet Orange Park, and Best Bet St. Augustine with exciting promotions like Table Share Tuesdays and $500 table share drawings. Or play our fun table games like 1-card poker, 3-card poker, face-up Pie Gal, and Ultimate Texas Hold'em. If you don't know how to play these card games, no worries. Our friendly dealers will be happy to teach you. Visit bestbetjacks.com for more information.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7 with supplies and solutions for every industry and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
ESPN 690 is home for the Florida Sportsman Fishing Show hosted by Captain Rick Riles. Tune in every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. to find out what's biting now. Fishing so fresh, you can almost smell it.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. Since 1928, people have admired diamond solitaire necklaces and ear studs that we've hand-selected and put together because of the way they dance and sparkle on a lady's neck or ear. And now, through Christmas, Underwoods is putting all of our diamond solitaire necklaces and ear studs on sale at 15% below our everyday price. We also take trade-ins on these pieces of jewelry, so if you're thinking about growing a diamond solitaire necklace or a pair of diamond studs up to a larger size, this is the ideal time to come see us. To give an example, we normally sell our 1-carat total weight diamond stud earrings for $2,600, but right now they're on sale for $2,210. Our diamond solitaire necklaces are priced the same way, with sizes from 1/5 carat total weight up to 7 carats total weight. So if you need a gift that says forever, make it an Underwood diamond solitaire necklace or a pair of diamond stud earrings. At Underwoods, San Marco, Avondale, or the shops of Ponte Vedra.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Attention Dish customers. Dish Network pulled WFOX Fox 30 off the air, depriving you of your favorite programming. That means no sports, local news, weather, traffic, or the shows you love. Call Dish now at 1-800-333-3474 and tell them to put WFOX Fox 30 back on the air.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. 2 big NFL stories from ESPN's Adam Schefter. 49ers quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo does not need surgery on his broken foot. If rehab goes well, he could return in 7 to 8 weeks. The Rams claimed quarterback Baker Mayfield on waivers a day after he was released by Carolina. He could play Thursday night against the Raiders. This move was made with an eye on the future for both sides, says ESPN's Ryan Clark.
The new Matthew Stafford is aging. He's a guy that's been banged up. You get Baker Mayfield in the building. To me, this is a tryout. Are you a fit for us on the field? Can you be a fit for us in the locker room? And now he goes into next year because he's going to be a backup, backing up a Matthew Stafford that now if you go and play, you have a #1 overall talent.
ESPN's Ed Werder's reporting the Cowboys have concerns after free agent receiver Odell Beckham Jr.'s physical that his recovery from a torn ACL has not progressed enough to ensure that he'd play before mid-January. The Titans fired GM John Robinson 2 days after they were routed by Philadelphia, a game in which receiver A.J. Brown, traded to the Eagles by the Titans this offseason, had 2 touchdowns. Round of 16 World Cup, Portugal defeated Switzerland 6-1 to move on.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Today on Hey Culligan, reverse to reduce. Here's Bob.
Hey Culligan, I love fresh water, but I got plastic bottles coming out.
Whoa, Bob, you are not kidding about the bottles. But did you know Culligan's reverse osmosis and always-on drinking water systems provide fresh, clean, delicious drinking water and help reduce the equivalent of over 15 billion plastic bottles from landfills worldwide?
Holy, fresh, environmentally friendly drinking water. Am I right?
Right, Bob. And we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. Well, it still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or just go to eBay Motors and get it right the first time. With over 122 million parts, they have the parts that fit your vehicle. Air filters, tires, headlights, brakes, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
There is no time to waste in the show today. We're not even ready with the stream. That's a Kasey problem. And you know what? Brian's like, I don't start the show until the stream is ready. Well, I said we got to start now because there's no time to waste. But we are wasting the time now. So we're going to stop wasting the time. Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton, ESPN 690. We have one segment in the show. As I look at the clock right now, it is 20 minutes from now that we will say goodbye. The Jimmy V Classic is coming up. Brian Middleton, Kasey Kurtz. If you listen to the program, you know that today is Power Rankings Tuesday. And we will power rank the teams in the NFL. It's the only thing we'll have time for. I've been very excited to do it since Sunday. So without further ado, I'm not going to ask Brian Middleton how you are. Hopefully you're good. I want you to bring the Power Rankings music. Is this new Power Rankings music?
Yeah, man.
Good to hear from you. Okay. I can rock with this.
Yeah. I'm glad.
It just threw me off is all.
I know, man.
All right.
It happens.
Changing things on the fly. I'm with it. Anyway, Power Rankings Tuesday. Brian Middleton, I want you to start.
Oh, no. You're not going to counterpunch me, Kasey Kurtz. Or did it? Oh, actually, it is my turn to start.
Yeah.
My bad. All right, Kasey Kurtz. Well, at number one, I don't even have that set up. It's all good. I'll have it ready for the next one. At number one, Kasey Kurtz, I gotta be real with you. I felt like I was doing them a bit of a charity work. And then I was like, no, this won't be the only time that I'll have them at number one, I think, because this team is so resilient. I got the San Francisco 49ers. My last week, number 3. I will tell you why, Kasey Kurtz. Winners of 5 straight games, best in the league. Best defense in the league. Defensive player of the year, I'm calling it right now. The boy Bosa leading the league out here, just sacking people left and right. Oh, by the way, they got the best left tackle since they have to put in a different quarterback. Oh, by the way, Kasey Kurtz, you still got Debo. You still got Brandon Ayuk. You still got Christian McCaffrey. Kittle somewhere around here doing something right here. Plug and play at the quarterback position, Kasey Kurtz. They've been the hottest team. They've been the best team. And they will continue to give headaches to every team in the NFC. And then when they might get to the Super Bowl, the team from the AFC. So I got the San Francisco 49ers number 1 on my power rankings.
This is less fun now. Because I also have the San Francisco 49ers at number 1.
You was talking.
And the reason is nothing that you said. It's because Brock Purdy is going to prove that he's good.
Okay.
I'm a Brock Purdy believer.
Yeah, you've been calling on him for the whole season. I know.
I think this guy's a good player. I'm glad he's getting the opportunity to do so. But I said it earlier on Brent Friends. To be honest, anybody who was pretty good in college, you should be able to ask them to throw it 20 times behind that offensive line with those weapons, with the running backs. You should be able to do those things if you were pretty good in college. Now, I know that's not how it works out, but it will in this case because that's how good San Francisco is around him. They have 3 different dudes they can hand the ball off to, no problem. They got multiple wide receivers, ain't no problem. Don't even start with the tight end, George Kittle, and then on defense. Man. Tell you what, the Miami Dolphins, who make everybody look silly, had a tough day. Tough day at the office. Coaching, players, everybody had a tough day at the office, what the 49ers defense did to them. So,
great point.
It's unquestioned. It is what it is. And I believe in them with Brock Purdy at quarterback. The San Francisco 49ers are the best team in the National Football League by far.
All right, Kasey, you come over to the right side.
2.
All right, Kasey, at number 2, I have the Dallas Cowboys. I will tell you what, I had them at 4th last week. Hopefully you haven't agreed with me, but if you have, I'll pat you on the back because you, again, come over to the right side. Winners of 4 of their last 5 games, Kasey. In the last 5 games, they've scored 40-plus points in 3 of those games. 40! All right? You were big about the Eagles beating somebody by 40 a couple of weeks ago. I don't know who it was. It was some no-name team. Dallas has done at least that 3 times in the last month, including a 54-pointer this past week, right? Second best 4th quarter defense, okay, because I'm digging deep into the numbers, and I really like that. They're tied with who? San Francisco, who we both think has the best defense. So when the chips are down or when things really count in the 4th quarter, Dallas says, you know what? We going to line them up. We going to strap them up. We going to shut them down. So you couple that with a great defense just in general. I think they're like they're top 3 in defense, offensive yards allowed. With that offense that they have, I still stand by this fact, Kasey Kurtz. If Dallas puts it all together, they're better than any team in this top 10. Now, do I think they're going to win a Super Bowl? No. Do I think that they are the best team? Clearly not. I just said San Francisco's the power rankings champ right now. But they're the one team, if they put it together, they're better than every other team I have on this top 10, including Kansas City, and that's saying something.
You know who doesn't get blown out? Ever? Always plays close football games? Is the Tennessee Titans. They got blown out by the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday, and that's why they're the number 2 team. The Cowboys aren't even the best team in their division. You got to stop pushing the Cowboys' agenda, because I get it. Their defense is aight. You know, the offense, they aight. They can blow out teams, sure. Their head coach is a TV analyst. I don't know what you want me to say. They're not even the best team in their division. The Philadelphia Eagles, though, are the best team in the division, the number 2 team in the league. They blew out Tennessee. It does not happen to Tennessee. It happened in Buffalo earlier this season, and that's when Buffalo was beating the heck out of everybody. That did happen. Tennessee plays everybody close. The Chiefs, whoever. You put them in there, but Cincinnati, they will play every team close. Not Philly. A.J. Brown took over, did his thing. Jalen Hurts threw for like 380. 380? That is a lot of yards for a guy that they weren't even sure could throw the football. You got to stop with the Cowboys. I understand they're dangerous, but they're not the best team in their division. Eagles, number 2 team in my power rankings.
Got to push back, Kasey Kurtz, since you want to do team comparisons. Philly played the Colts. What was that score? It was a 1-point game, wasn't it? Didn't they win by 1?
They won by, I don't have
Yeah. They
3,
did.
I think.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 3. You know, Dallas beat the brakes off them just now, right?
Did they get more than 1 win for it, or just the 1 win?
Oh, hold on. That's not what you just said. You just said the Titans play everybody close.
They do.
But listen, they just got blown out by Philadelphia. You didn't bring up, do they just get 1 win or not? You know who else they both played? Minnesota. Now, granted, they both handled Minnesota. Philly beat them by 17. Dallas beat them by 37. So if you want to do team comparisons, you probably should stop with that one right there, because head-to-head, they played more teams than not. Dallas has looked better against the opponents when you're talking about both of those games.
What happened when Philly played Dallas this year?
Yeah, no, hey, granted, I'm with you on that, and they'll have a chance to rectify that in a couple of weeks after they face the Jags. Anyway, I got to get to number 3. I know I'm holding up time. Here we go. Number 3, Kasey Kurtz. I got the Kansas City Chiefs. Listen, still my favorite in the AFC, just to be fair. And a 3-point loss to the defending AFC champions on the road, they're not going to drop out of my top 5. Sorry. They still got Patrick Mahomes. They still got Andy Reid. And listen, this is a fact that I really like about the Kansas City Chiefs. Well coached, they're 3rd in the league for the least amount of penalties per game. Something like 3.7. And so I like that. You really have to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And on top of the fact that you really got to beat them because they're well coached, they got Patrick Mahomes, who still has a slight edge for the MVP. I got to be real with you, man. When I talk about Philly, I'll give Jalen Hurts his props. But, I got Kansas City at number 3, Kasey Kurtz.
You got a lot of Kansas City stats there. How about the one against the Bengals where Patrick Mahomes has never beat Joe Burrow? How about the one where Joe Burrow is 3-0 against the Chiefs in 2022?
All right.
How about the one where they cannot figure it out? The Cincinnati Bengals do it again. Travis Kelce, did he play? It's the only time you can ever ask that question, because nobody has any clue, because he did nothing against the Cincinnati Bengals, who I have as the 3rd team in the league right now. Listen, it's clear. They got Joe Burrow. That's enough. They got the weapons, better than a lot of teams, maybe most teams, maybe all teams. You have to break that one down. And Joe Mixon goes out. Okay, no problem. We got Samaje Perine. Sure, put him in, and yeah, it's great. Offensive line.
Plug and play.
Maybe not a problem anymore. I don't know. And the thing that is slept on the most about the Cincinnati Bengals is the defense. Is it the most beautiful defense? Is it the Dallas defense?
No,
it is not.
No, it is not.
It is not. But do they hold the other team to less points? They do that. Do they give other teams fits? They do. Their pass rush is pretty legit. They have DBs that can ball. Their linebacker play is good as well. So I don't know how anybody could look at that and not point to the Cincinnati Bengals and say, now wait a minute. You know who the Kansas City Chiefs don't want to play? the Cincinnati Bengals, and they will probably have to again if both of those teams do what they want to do. It's as simple as that. The Cincinnati Bengals and Joe Burrow, Joe Shiesty, Joey Burr have Patrick Mahomes' number. They'll go for 4 wins whenever they meet in the playoffs.
4. All right, so here I got a team that deserves to be here. And honestly, I could have moved them higher. I now have just one question of the Philadelphia Eagles, who are my number 4 team, okay? And I'll get to that in a moment. But I can't say much in the way of negativity. Listen, top 2 offense, top 10 defense, Jalen Hurts, okay? Hey, listen, all right? I pushed back on the Jalen Hurts MVP talk as the unanimous consensus. Go ahead and hand him the trophy now, because there's a whole Patrick Mahomes out here that's been playing his tail off. But listen, man, you can't deny the consistency with which Jalen Hurts has led this team and his performance on the field. And Kasey Kurtz, let me just say this one more thing before I hand it back over to you. I think that Jalen Hurts, this isn't lightning in a bottle. Now, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to let his career play out. It looks like things are figured out. It looks like the maturation process is really happening for him. And I'm just like, okay, guy, I'm happy for you. You know, you'll have to actually win the championship for me to, believe in y'all wholeheartedly. But listen, Philly at number 4, honestly, they could be tied for, number 2 or number 3. I'm not mad at what I see with them. The one knock I have on them, Kasey Kurtz, they're in the bottom half of the league against the run. And in the playoffs, even if it's at home, in the elements, you got someone like a San Fran, you got a Dallas with a 2-headed monster, maybe? You want to call that? Maybe not with, Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard. You're going to have to face some team that's going to be able to run the ball on you, and you're going to have to be able to stop that. So that's the one chink in the armor I see at this point. But Philly number 4, I got no problems with them.
I got Kansas City at number 4 because, they can't beat the Bengals, so you can't physically put them above the Bengals.
Okay.
Still a good team, though, right? Still got the pieces you need to win, as long as you don't play the Bengals, of course. Patrick Mahomes doing his thing. Okay, cool. Coaching staff, don't play the Bengals, though. Do not play the Bengals, because you can't beat that team. Only team you can't figure out how to beat. They're going to do their thing, and they're going to pray and hope that the draw works out, that they don't have to play the Bengals until the AFC Championship. Because then, you lose an AFC Championship, all right, good season. Don't want to play them in the first round. No. They're desperately hoping that the Ravens lose that division, Bengals win it, and they don't have to play them for a good little bit. But nothing real positive to say about the Chiefs. Just that. I got them at number 4, though.
Okay, Kasey.
5.
At number 5, I got Cincinnati. Think it's fair. Think it's right. Listen, 8-4, and they have looked really good. Everything you said about Joe Shiesty, I am backing you 100%. Kasey, what were you doing September 22nd of this year?
Probably this.
Yeah, probably. It was a Monday. Yeah.
I was doing this.
And Joe Burrow was answering questions from the Cincinnati media, and they were asking him, because they were coming off an 0-2 start. They just lost to the Dallas Cowboys, and they basically were asking him, should we be worried? How you handle it? And he said, not worried, no panic. We're going to get this figured out. And holy smokes, they have gotten it figured out, Kasey. Winners of 4 straight?
Yes.
And Kasey, this is who they've beaten. The AFC 1 seed or former 1 seed. I haven't looked at the matchups right now. I don't know if Kansas City's still the 1, but they beat Kansas City. Then they beat the division leader in the Tennessee Titans. They beat the Steelers team. The Steelers, listen, Mike Tomlin's got them guys back on the right track. They're winners of 3 of the last 4. The only loss is to Cincinnati, and then they beat Carolina. So,
everybody does that.
Get a ticket, get in line. So, Kasey, listen, Cincinnati looks like they have it figured out. Again, if they make the white jerseys and the white helmets official, like they wear that for all the away games or all the home games, then, hey, listen, I'll move you to number 1. I'll put you ahead of San Francisco. But this is a good team. It is a scary team. They're due for a loss against Kansas City. This can't keep going on. And it seems like the way this story is going, that if they meet in the playoffs, AFC Championship game, this is where Patrick Mahomes is like, all right, young fella, okay, go ahead, have a seat. Have a seat. Let me show you how it's done, if they can figure it out. Anyway, Cincinnati number 5.
No seats to be had last year, though, huh?
Except for Kansas City on the plane back home. Not to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah.
Number 5. Did we forget about a team just because they played on Thursday night? I sure as heck did.
Oh, don't do that.
That's the Buffalo Bills.
Oh.
I didn't forget about them. They played on Thursday night. Josh Allen, casual, 200, 2 tutties, no big deal. Here's the interesting story out of Buffalo. They now run the ball. Not with Josh Allen. Only 8 carries for 20 yards. James Cook, I'm surprised by it. That man was doing his work. Devin Singletary, still a good player. The most overrated player in ESPN 690 history, Naheem Himes, did nothing. I just want to work that in. Stephon Diggs is so good. Isaiah McKenzie on the inside. Gabe Davis scores the touchdown but doesn't do much else. I mean, they didn't even get Dawson Knox involved, and they're just blowing teams out on the road. I mean, it's as simple as that. The defense is nasty. Listen, they may not be Cincinnati. They may not be Kansas City, but they're the Buffalo Bills. I wouldn't want to have to go to Buffalo and play them. They are comfortably the number 5 team in the league. Comfortably.
I guess, man. Listen, you do sports more often than me, so, I guess people go with the expert in this opinion. I don't see that one, how you can rank them above the Dallas Cowboys. But okay, 6 through 10, I have Minnesota. At 7, I have Buffalo. At 8, I have Miami. At 9, I have Baltimore. And at 10, this was tough for me because, the Seahawks won. And the Commanders and the Giants played to a tie. But I'm going to keep the Commanders there. 4 straight weeks without a loss, even though, the tie, it's not a win. I'm going to keep going with the fact that the Commanders are doing their thing, and I got them at number 10, Kasey.
I got Dallas at 6. I have Seattle at 7.
Wow. Okay.
I have Miami at 8, Minnesota at 9, and I don't have a 10th team because I think the rest of the league is pretty garbage.
Well done. You got to earn it.
If you tie, you don't get there, right? I'm sorry. Washington, you don't get it. You can't tie. The Giants have fallen backwards. You don't get it. And I'm not giving it to the Jets.
Yeah.
Everybody else in the league, I'm not going to lie, is pretty garbage. Let's just go through it real quick so I can kind of prove my point.
Okay.
The Chargers stink. The Raiders are not any better, and the Broncos suck. The Browns won without scoring on offense. That's because they played Houston, who is dreadful. Pittsburgh's coming along, but they're not good.
Yeah.
Tennessee, I don't know what happened there. You got blown out. Jeff Saturday and the boys can't do it. The situation with the Jags that got blown out by the Lions. Arizona's horrible. The Rams are going to start Baker Mayfield. They claimed him today, and he's going to start on Thursday night, which is an interesting thing. Green Bay is not good because they beat the Bears, who are absolutely not good. The Bucs are 6-6. They need a last-second comeback against the Saints, who are 4-9. Carolina still plays in the league, apparently, is what this thing is telling me. And then the Lions blow out the Jags. So that's the rest of the league. A bunch of teams that don't deserve to be called the 10th best team in the league. That's what I got for you.
Okay.
Those are the power rankings.
I'm not mad at you. Well, I'm mad at you about the Buffalo thing. What'd you have Dallas at again?
6.
This boy wild. Talk about hater. That's all good. Okay. That's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're overvaluing a blowout win over the Colts.
It's not just one. And it's not just
they blew out Minnesota. That was impressive. I'll give you that.
It's not just the way that they did it. It's 33 points in a quarter.
That's a lot of points, but
that's hard to do in video games, guys. 15-minute quarters.
It's actually harder to do in video games.
Yeah, because the AI is just like, nah,
they're gonna,
we good, fam.
Yeah, and the clock keeps running. It's significantly different. I get it. It's impressive. Okay.
What does Dallas have to do in order to move up, or does the teams in front have to lose? Okay,
yeah.
well,
here's the problem. Their next 2 games are Houston and Jacksonville. So they will move up because they're going to win those games by a combined score of 118-4. I mean, I'm only concerned about December 24th.
Okay.
When they play Philadelphia. That will be the game for me. Then they play Tennessee, they play Washington, but they'll be, they're in the playoffs by then, especially in that conference. So, that's how they get up there. I mean, I feel pretty good about Buffalo, Kansas City, Cincinnati, Philly, and San Fran. Those are the boys. Dallas could make it interesting with San Francisco in the playoffs. If they can get there, of course. They'll get there early, I guess, easier because they won't be a division winner because Philly will be the division winner.
Mm-hmm.
So they could have a matchup with San Francisco earlier or they could play Philly. That'd be fun. The NFC there's going to be a lot of bad though. That NFC South game against the Giants or somebody, that's going to be rough. That is not going to be fun.
Right.
That is going to be just
tough to deal with.
No other way to put it. Then tough. That's pretty much going to do it.
Wow.
Yeah. That's it for the show.
I'll start the music.
Yeah. I'm glad we got the power rankings in. It was important. Believe in the 49ers, even with Brock Purdy. That's the situation. I can't believe you had him at number 1. It surprised me.
Whoa. Come on.
Okay. It's a good enough answer. That's going to do it. Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton. We're back at it tomorrow, though. We do have coming up next the Jimmy V Classic, some college basketball action for you. You can hear it on the station. Doubleheader. It will go throughout the rest of the night. Obviously, we're back at it tomorrow with Brent Friends, 3 to 6. Me and Brian will pick it up from 6 to 7. But that's why we are done early tonight because of some college basketball action. You can hear it on the station just a couple of minutes. Clay Harbor tomorrow on the show. See what he has to say about his Chicago Bears that did not look good against Aaron Rodgers. And then did you see the Aaron Rodgers postgame, by the way?
I did.
Yeah, that's tough. We're going to have to ask Clay about that. He'll have to answer some questions. And want to let you know, 12 days of Christmas, we're getting closer and closer to it. Lots of giveaways coming up. This show included. We'll keep you in the loop on that. We got a lot of good stuff to give away, though. For Brian Middleton, I'm Kasey Kurtz. Have a good night, everybody. Basketball up next. I want to eat